sandals and shorts, and surf and scuba and sand and sailing and soccer. San Diego, California.
Season's greetings and welcome to Two Balls and a Mic, episode 232, here on a beautiful Monday in South San Diego. South as a guest, the most southwesternly podcast in the nation, more than likely, probably by, if there's anybody in 3 blocks south, then they get the title. But no, Chiva, it is you and I here on another Monday. We're going to go ahead and discuss San Diego Wave and their away trip once again with the loss against Portland Thorns, 0-1, losing before the last game going into the Olympic summer break. We're going to get into all the nitty-gritty of that performance. If I had more time, I would splice Casey Stoney's post-match interview, choose one, and then just put it for Paul Buckle because they're saying the exact same thing. Obviously, there was also much to talk about off the field, and we're going to get into all of the community aspects and the discussions that are surrounding San Diego Wave. I know you're kind of getting into this and kind of waking up to it, but it's all good. We took care of it for you. We're going to bring on Abraham Cepeda for all the San Diego Wave talk. We're also going to go ahead and talk with Street Soccer USA about the street soccer tournament coming up in North County with some high schoolers featuring Manchester United legends. May try to get the who. Hey, who's coming in? But we're going to go ahead and talk to El Señor Reed, who's organizing this great event alongside Chicano Futsal, Bridge Barcata, North County Soccer. Bridge Barcata, shout out. Final pickup that they're putting together this Sunday. We'll be there. We're also going to go ahead and talk about San Diego FC, Senor Jocko, the new owner. People weren't happy. People are happy. It's a mixed bag. We may touch on goals, gaps, and grades, some Liga MX stuff. But overall, thank you for joining us here on San Diego's #1 soccer outlet. Our Copa America credentials were approved and say journalists. So that's on them for putting that out there.
Shit's working, man.
No, it's an interesting time, definitely, to go ahead and once again have a podcast here in San Diego that covers soccer, because there really wasn't much to talk about for years and years and years. San Diego Loyal comes in, then the San Diego Wave ushering a brand new premium product here, where the most premium product, as they say, will also take place at Snapdragon Stadium. And we've seen our share of just controversies and things that have popped up throughout. But first and foremost, and this is, again, if you've been following any of these past 4 years of what we've done, we cover soccer. We cover the game. San Diego Wave is not doing well. We're going to bring in our fantastic writer, I think number 1 journalist when it comes to San Diego Wave, like specialized. I know he's going to blush and he's going to be like, nah, come on, guys. He's never done that. But we're going to go ahead and bring in somebody who asks the tough questions, having those tough conversations. Mr. Abraham Cepeda. Abe, welcome in.
Hello.
How are you? Good. Season's greetings to you. Felices fiestas, everybody. People have taken that into Spanish mode. Felices fiestas, saludos. But it's been a interesting week, to say the least. We're definitely going to get into some tough, important conversations here. But again, we lead with the game because that's what we specialize in. That's a specialty of the house. San Diego Wave, once again, a losing effort against Portland Thorns. We all thought that they were going to lose. I thought maybe they were going to tie. I don't even remember. But we were not very positive going into this away matchup with Paul Buckle at the helm for the second game, really the first one, because it doesn't seem like there's a lot of influence from Paul just yet on the field. Maybe a couple, different looks. But if it's up to me, and if you were to tell me that this is somebody else leading this team, I wouldn't believe you, because the same performance that we've been privy to, that we've seen, Abe, through this entire season, it's the same old story, just with somebody different at the helm. But going in, thoughts on the lineup that was presented for San Diego Wave?
Guess not.
Go ahead, Abe.
Oh, sorry. I thought Chiva usually takes out the lineup.
No, you're
so.
good.
But
Go ahead. You
No,
can go.
but the lineup is like exactly the same. I think you do kind of. We said it was like the best lineup. I still believe that that's probably their best 11 that they have available. Like some people would want to see Melanie Barcenas maybe in the starting 11, but I think that's probably still a little too soon for that. So it's a good starting 11. You hope that they can do something different. I mean, Abby Dahlkemper wears the captain's armband, which is a little bit questionable considering the match the defense had in the last game. But I think when you're a new coach, it's hard to really like change anything on that front. I think so. You get what you expect, and they got exactly the same match against Portland, just
Yeah.
not as many defensive errors.
Here's my thing with this lineup, Brad. Obviously, something's not working with this lineup this whole season. Whether it was with Casey Stoney, whether it was with Paul Bucco, like you have to change something. And if I'm in Paul Bucco's shoes, this is the perfect opportunity to just try something crazy, try something that you're maybe not too used to, because he's essentially going with the same play style that Casey Stoney has. Maybe not so defensively anymore, clearly, since they've been getting scored on a lot more.
Yeah.
But attacking, it's still lacking. Like you need numbers up there. I would love for Paul Bucco to come in and change the formation around.
The formation has technically changed. He says he's kind of switched it to more of a 4-2-4. We'll call it buckle ball. Can we call it buckle ball? I thought of that during the game last week. It's all the same, but buckle ball
Yes.
sounds cooler. So
Buckle
in
ball.
buckle ball, we have 4-2-4. You have I think the two in the middle would probably be Emily Van Egmond and Hannah
McCaskill.
Lundqvist, you can say, or not Hannah Lundqvist. Savannah McCaskill.
Mm-hmm.
But then the four at the top is Jaden Shaw, Mackenzie Doniak, Maria Sanchez, and Alex Morgan, right?
Same thing.
But
It's
it
the same
is
thing.
technically the same thing, kind of as far as forwards go. But you would expect them to play a little bit wider, maybe create more chances. But yeah, they still haven't done that. Like maybe with some time, they'll be able to create that. But at the same time, like it's the Olympics. Like all these international players are leaving. How are you going to change anything?
No, 100%, and I get that, but I think coming back, you have to. And I'm just gonna pitch this out there, and tell me what you guys think. I think Waves defensively is strong enough to be able to have a 3 center back line. I think if you have Kennedy Wesley, Naomi Girma, and Abby Dahlkemper as a 3 center back line, I think they're solid enough to be able to cover, especially with Caitlin Sheridan. Like you can also kind of rely on her to pass the ball back, clear it. Then you have 2 defensive bids. This is where you can bring in either Van Egmond, Colaprico, whoever's healthy, and then McCaskill can play on that role as well. Then you have at the 10, you have Jada Shaw, who we've all seen her play at the 10. We know that's probably her best spot. You got Maria Sanchez on the left, Mackenzie Doniak on the right, or Sofia Jakobsson, whoever you feel like starting. And then up top, you have Alex Morgan and another striker. Whether it's Kyra Carusa, whether it's whoever it is, or whether it's Jaden Shaw on top, and then you bring in Van Egmond and McCaskill at the 10. But I think you need numbers on top. And this is kind of going away from the game, but I just kind of like wanted to say that I feel like that would be a pretty cool formation. Obviously, everyone needs to be healthy for this.
Yeah.
Obviously, this can't happen during the summer break.
And with that thought,
I'm tired of of seeing the same thing and same results.
Yeah, with that thought, right? Like you're kind of talking, hey, change it up defensively. When defensively, like you're saying, that's their strong suit. Why are you going to change defensive tactics when it's the offense that's not producing? Well, you need to jumpstart this offense somehow. And if that's pushing the talent and pushing numbers from the back up and putting that midfield, crowding that midfield a little bit more, just so Emily Van Egmond doesn't feel like her defensive rules are have to compensate for her lack of attacking. Sometimes she can't get back into position, whatever it may be. But something needs to happen for this offense to go ahead and get re-energized, because it's not working. The offense is what's broken in this team. The offense is that it's that piece where you have some sort of good offense on San Diego Wave and you tie this game. Use some sort of offense, not even good offense, because you potentially win this match because of the way the defense is playing. But the chances are there. And this is where I go back where Paul Buckle was saying the same things post-match. Casey said the same things. 3 weeks ago, Casey had said, I don't understand VAR anymore. Paul Buckle could have said the exact same thing. He told us in the post-match, I thought this right here was not offsides.
I agree with him. I don't think it was offsides. I do think Wave got robbed from this goal. I don't know what you guys' thoughts are on this. I wish we could have seen a VAR line, but like go back a little bit. There's a header by one of the players, and I think it was. I want to
That's
say
Christian McNabb or Dahlkemper.
it's McNabb gets it, and then over here gets the kick, and then Alex Morgan kicks it in. From that header from McNabb, there's no offsides on the player that crossed that in. And I don't know. I really wish we could see in the NWSL how VAR kind of interacts with the referee. I know in the Premier League they do that where they'll show you after like videos or the communication between VAR and the referee. I wish the NWSL would do that. But to me, this is a goal. And it was a clear goal. Whether they just called it offsides by a different player that was also part of the play, I think that's what could have been. Because McNabb headers the ball back, la peinó poquito, and then there's another player right behind her that tried to header that, and I think she might have been offside. If they played it based on that because she tried to play the ball, then I'm sorry. She didn't try to play that first header. She played the cross, and she was onside on the cross.
Yeah.
So to me, bullshit call from the NWSL, bullshit call from the refs because that should have been a goal. That should have been Alex Morgan's first goal of the season.
I have insider information letting me know that the team, San Diego Wave, is actually filing a formal complaint either today or tomorrow with the league about this decision right here and how that should have been a call. Because to this moment, I haven't seen an angle that tells me that was offsides. I have not seen one that's clear evidence of that being an offsides, or at least it didn't merit or warrant a VAR check. And even then, you have to have, it's the one thing I like about the NFL. They're like, you have to have irrefutable evidence that this was either a penalty or score, or like there has to be something to overturn it. And I think here, there's no reason why you shouldn't call this a goal.
But at the end of the day, like, if they score this goal, then it's 1-1 draw. Then they're still on a 9-match winless streak. Like,
no,
obviously,
here's sorry,
but it's
sorry
not
to
loss.
interrupt. Sorry to interrupt, Abe. After you score a goal here, you're up 1-0. You're going to halftime 1-0. Everything changes. You don't know if the other team would have scored. I'm a strong believer in that. Whether you don't know what's going to happen after you're up 1-0, your mentality completely changes. Your physicality changes. All the momentum changes, especially when you're going into the second half with a 1-0 lead. I think that would have definitely been good for San Diego Wave. Obviously, that doesn't mean that match would have ended in a 1-1 draw. Wave could have lost 2-1 had they scored this goal. We don't know what could have happened after. So sorry to interrupt there. I disagree. I think taking this goal really missed Wave out of a chance of potentially having a point or 3 points.
At least a point. Yeah. But again, that's what we say, right? Was this a penalty? Was this a this? Was this a this? Whatever the referee called, that's what ends up happening. It's not a goal. You have 45 minutes or you have whatever time left in this match to try to rectify this, to try to go ahead and get another opportunity, get another chance. And, again, for the most part, Naomi Girma had Sophia in her pocket. Like, that was a good performance by Naomi Girma defensively. There are some cracks here and there where maybe Abby Dahlkemper isn't playing as well as she was at the end of last season. But overall, it's ahí está la peinada. Yeah.
I don't know how you don't call this onside. That is crazy, dude. Like, you're a pro freaking league. Get your shit together, because that should have been a goal. And granted, every league makes mistakes when it comes to VAR. There's no one thing of what VAR really needs to be. And I know that's why you absolutely hate it, Tony.
Yeah.
But this is, I'm going to jump on this wagon now. What's the point of having VAR if you're still going to make mistakes?
It took 4 years, dude. About time you're on the right side of...
My abuelo had an idea. He was trying to tell me that there should be, instead of just like 2 extra refs, why don't they have like 2 refs on each side, or a ref on each side to call off sides? Because it really is weird that there's only like ever 1 ref on each side when you really think about it.
So what? So 4 other sets of, or 2 other sets of eyes
like
get the
ref
call
on
wrong?
one line and then a ref on the other line to call offside. So whatever half of the ball it's on, they have to kind of both agree whether or not it's offside. Which it's another idea. I mean, because we were watching a baseball game and he was like, "There's 3 umpires. Like, why? There's so many umpires. Why don't we have just a lot of refs instead of VAR?" And I was like, maybe it could work. That's an idea.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the same thing. It's 3 refs up in VAR, anyways.
When was it? 2010-ish when they had the idea to put referees behind the goal?
They did that.
They did that
For
before goal line
penalties,
technology
yeah.
and stuff. Like that was an idea floated out there. But again, it's more people.
No, it happened.
Oh,
Champions
hey,
League had it.
look at that. It's more people to get the call wrong. And unless we, and this is where it gets dicey, right? Unless we go full robo refs and then have, I don't know if you've ever watched dog racing where there's like that little bunny that goes on the outside of the track and then they chase, right? That's so
Mhm.
have a super high speed camera. The technology is there. I know for a fact
Yeah.
that runs along the sidelines,
With the
literally
last defender.
marking the last defender. It's a
100%.
laser that goes down, whatever technology,
100%.
like
Yep.
it's there.
Yeah.
That would eliminate. And guess what? If you're a hair off sides, you can't argue it because the lasers. I'm sorry, like
Yeah.
if that's what modern soccer needs to be, lasers. Go for it. But until then,
I mean, like goal line technology is just pure genius.
yeah, that one's fine, and
That's
I'm always okay with that.
great.
Goal line technology, and it's still the same technology that should tell you if a ball goes out 100% for a throw in,
Mhm.
because the referee gets a little vibration on their little monitor, tells it goal or not goal. Like that should be a thing. The Euro balls right now have this first soccer ball to ever have a sensor inside used in
Yeah.
official FIFA tournament, UEFA
Like, the
tournament.
technology is definitely there.
Yeah,
for that to change.
it's there, but will the NWSL implement it? Will it be implemented well? We've seen refereeing just go the wayside, but again, we're here not necessarily making excuses, but putting context to what type of season San Diego Waves had, and I mean,
It's been a very.
I'm just
crappy
going to
one.
look at Paul, and this is a sentiment for the soccer sides of things too, because Jill Ellis made the decision to take Casey Stoney out of the equation. I haven't seen anything different. There's 10 games left, right, in the regular season, around there.
Yeah, I think 12.
What was the point of getting rid of Casey Stoney right now when you've had 2 games that have yielded the same amount of points that you would have had if Abe was coaching? I don't know. Maybe you would have gotten a point out of this, Abe. But you have
I'm
different
not a good
different.
coach. I wouldn't.
Okay,
Well,
that's big of you.
I can be like a ball boy or something, but I can't be a coach. I don't have the.
You'd be the type
confidence
of ball
to-
boy that gets kicked by Hazard.
Yeah.
but no, I mean, and that's just the reality of the soccer side of things, where you can say, well, things aren't going our way. They're not, clearly, but what are you doing that's different? What are you doing that's really kind of pushing that boundary of like, this is a team worth investing? I was looking at something earlier and just kind of the general consensus of some of the worst moves in this season. How the Houston Dash utilized the money that they got from Maria Sanchez for the net positive on their side of things to what the production of Maria Sanchez has actually been for San Diego Wave. It's probably the biggest disappointment transfer wise this season so far. We have 10 games left. So far, Maria Sanchez has not produced.
She hasn't. She could have gotten her first assist this game.
She's gotten a few assists. Like a few of the goals that Jaden Shaw had scored have been off of Maria Sanchez's crosses.
Like her crosses are there. I think it's
She had a cross in this last match that was like in the perfect spot in the box, and there was just absolutely no one to be seen.
No one.
And I was just like, I was like, this, it's insane. Like that's the perfect cross. Like you show the pictures, it's like, oh, here's the cross. It goes right to the thing. Someone just needs to be there. But like for the past 9 matches, like the person just isn't there.
In our
It's
group chat, I like that
infuriating.
you said that was a great cross to ghosts or something like that.
No, it's like tough because like I think Maria Sanchez has been doing well. Like it's just the players that have been on the team that I think haven't been performing to the levels that they have in the past. Like whether it be Alex Morgan or Emily Van Egmond, or Abby Dahlkemper, that those are the main issues. I don't think it's the people that you've added, but you did spend a lot of money to bring Maria Sanchez in.
Then there was.
By the way, I think this is the save of the week by Caitlin Sheridan.
Oh yeah, Kaylin again.
Knee, dude.
Kaylin
That
Sheridan,
was insane. Caitlin Sheridan is putting this team on her back.
and that's who I really want to talk to is the captain of the defense in the goalkeeper and Kaylin Sheridan. Like what do you tell the rest of the team? Like what do you do when you're doing your job as well as you can? Sure, there's been a couple of missteps by her and her defense as well, i.e. 3-0. But overall, like, what are you seeing the disconnect? Like how first of all, how are you taking all of this offensive? how are you taking all this offense that's coming your way without any offense going the other way? And you're seeing it. Like, you're seeing it at training. You're like, at training, I tell you, Wave looks so much different. But then again, it's Wave training against Wave. But you put that in the same plane of thought. Well, Wave's defense is pretty good. And if the offense looks good in training against a good defense, then what's going on? And it's a giant mystery where Paul Buckle is not going to have an answer and hasn't had an answer for 2 weeks. He still has this kind of like glad to be here. Guy's in an impossible situation to be thrown in. He had experience with the club, I believe 2021, just a little bit of time alongside the club and just the building of it. So he's familiar with it, but just to be put in this situation is not ideal. But then do something about it. This is a great stop here. One-handed. I mean, and this is the offense that you're used to seeing Melanie Barcenas being that lightning storm. That's the stroke of lightning that just comes in, energized. I don't think she can play a full 90, just health-wise, fitness-wise. But at the end of the day, I think Paul Buckle's just having this team on autopilot go. This would have happened again had Abe coached, had you coached, had I coached. We probably would have put the same lineup out there. And then the moment 1-0, 85th minute, you felt it coming. And you just knew
one of
that
those games again.
Yeah.
One of those same games on the 7 losses. I mean, you get the ball here, right? There's no one to cut in. Naomi Girma tries to cut the pass, and then Abby Dahlkemper misses her mark as well. So it was just very poor defending from Wave, whether they were on tired legs, whether anything. It was some of the worst defending probably this whole season, even worse than that 3-0 loss. You can't miss a mark like that as a center back or as a defender. I mean, again, it's just terrible.
But they won the possession battle, 56 to 44%.
Well, the performance was definitely there, and if they keep playing that way, the results will come.
Will they? Will the goals come?
Where have we heard that before, gentlemen? We've heard that from Landon Donovan, from Nate Miller, from Casey Stoney, and now from Paul Buckle. It must be true.
It's a San Diego thing.
It must be true.
It's a San Diego thing where we're just like,
the way you're playing and losing games, but you're playing okay, the results will come. But God damn it, San Diego Wave, you're running out of time. You have 10 games left.
Yeah.
You have the summer tournament against Liga MX team. You're gonna look like a fool against these Liga MX teams.
The commercial. We don't need a free advertising on this.
That was hot, Chad. We gotta like clip that out, dude. You went off. That was cool.
I like this. Barcenas and Asensio gone for last stretch of the season, by the way. I mean,
yeah, they're going out for the the under 16 World Cup, which is like a huge honor for them, and like it's gonna be crazy because like they're being relied on for like providing a huge jolt to this offense. So what's gonna happen come October, come that last stretch where maybe you're trying to push for like final playoff spot and you don't have Melanie Martinez off the bench?
If only San Diego Wave could rely on good old Alex Morgan to score some.
And that's goals. The thing. And that's on our side of things. We complain about it. We talk to ourselves amongst ourselves, and we have our chat or they're in person where we're covering the game. Because again, you know, let it be whatever we are, guys. But the three of us are pretty much the solid foundation of San Diego Wave coverage here in San Diego. And I commend you, Abe, for doing that. And you know, we saw the talent, and we're like, we need that.
And Amor, don't forget about Amor.
And Amor también. You know what? Amor has very good.
Amor works for the team.
Yeah, that too.
But he has like tough questions though. Like,
Morgan, Alex, what do you think about your friend Taylor Swift coming to the NWSL Championship? That was a really good Amor Villa.
That was a great question too. That question got clicks. It got freaking people to stay tuned. Like,
they did. He's great. Shout out to Morvilla.
I mean, I think the team had even shared that question.
Yeah, they did. Just like they shared one of my final questions to Casey Stoney, where I pissed off her entire family. And
is there a
question in there, or the ones before where the kids were?
It's your fault. Those kids have to go.
Have a severance package and travel the world. I mean, obviously, it's
not.
How
much guaranteed money do you think that was in her contract?
A lot. Definitely a lot.
Right. She's taking care of that. If she doesn't work until 2027, I think she'll be a-okay. But again, that's not the competitor in her. Should we listen to some of this post-match conference?
I think we have to show the people so they've heard the Casey Stoney audios before, and now just in your head, Casey Stoney and now juxtapose it with what Paul Buckle said.
And I'm sorry, I'm gonna call San Diego Wave out again.
Oh my God.
But again, it's a post game after a tough loss. We need to hear from the captains. Why are we hearing from Hannah Lundsvik? What does she have to do with anything? Give us Abby Dahlkemper. Give us Alex Morgan for a post game conference. And if you're in charge of choosing the players, like, come on, you got to talk to those players and tell them, hey, you have to talk to the media.
And I don't get the sense that it's Morgan, Dahlkemper, Germa, Sheridan knocking at the door and saying, hey, let us talk to the media.
No.
The comms department's like, nah, like, not you. Like, we can't have you out there. I don't feel that that's the energy where they want to talk. And I think that's the issue, where you're going to have those leaders. We've talked how many times to Savannah McCaskill, how many times to Kristen McNabb. Fantastic individuals,
and
great
you know what?
people.
And I get the whole, we used to use Alex Morgan all the time for pressers. Like, let's other players, let's give them a chance. Yeah, but we haven't heard from Alex Morgan at all this season, really.
No, yeah, we haven't. And
it's time for the leaders to step up. And I mean, again, if there's no accountability within the club to get the leaders to speak, then I mean, the whole system's like messed up. Then if you need to really get your leaders to come out and talk at the post pressers.
The biggest contribution by Alex Morgan this season, gentlemen, is the thumbnail that they gave him for the game. That's the biggest contribution by Alex Morgan. One of the biggest contributions.
She went to Southwestern College and had the cool thing with your former coach. That was cool.
Yeah, 100%. Shout out Carolina Soto. Really actually saw her on the way to the last home game for Wave, and we had a good discussion about exactly this, about the tactics and what's not working. And
but that really wasn't anything about Wave. It was more about her foundation.
Yeah, let's go Chula Vista. But in any case, let's hear from Paul Buckle, the interim head coach for San Diego Wave after the 1-0 loss for San Diego to Portland Thorns. Again, like you said, Abe, close your eyes. It might sound like a little a very sick Casey Stoney with a sore throat, a hoarse Casey Stoney. Here we go. Yeah, that's it.
Coach, I kind of just want to know your overall thoughts on this performance. Obviously, it's a tough loss for the team and another one in the books, but what were your thoughts overall?
Yeah, absolutely that. I'm gutted. I'm absolutely gutted for the players, for the staff, our fans, because we've got nothing for our troubles in the last two games, and we've put an awful lot of effort in both games. We've created chances, and again tonight, you know, the goal. I didn't think it was offside. You know, I've seen them in moments a million times in football, and straight away I thought Alex was behind the play. And I've had several texters say to confirm that. So if that goes in, it's a different game. Then theirs is tight and they get it. That's how it's going for us now. I just said to the players, you know, we have to keep believing because they're doing so many things right. It's always tough to come here and try and win the game, which we did because they have so much pace on the break. But I thought we didn't have a bad player on the field tonight, and subs came on and did well. And there's so much to work with this group. So we were brave again, but we're just not getting anything for our troubles right now.
Literally, starting off, gutted for the players. Like, if bring out the Casey Stoney bingo card, check. Right? Having a decision that the referees made or didn't make contribute to what the feeling of having these players be gutted be check. VAR. That should have been a goal. Check. They played well. Performance. They should have gotten more out of it. They got nothing. Check. What else? Did I miss anything in that one question from you, Chiba?
You mentioned the gutted part, right?
Yeah. Like that was a Casey Stoney. Yeah. Casey Stoney in her book, How to Coach. How to Coach Wave. How to do press conferences.
Maybe it's like an English thing.
Maybe. I mean, but I haven't heard what was that term that we loved that Casey used?
It was the injury one. No, there was no injuries. There's no. Oh, there was injury. Who was up? There were people on the injury report for this game, weren't there? I think Caitlin Torpy was out.
Oh yeah, where she had a little niggle. Yep. Absolutely.
Well, Caitlin
That's
Thorpe is going to be going to the Olympics, so I mean
Olympics
that's
for
probably why
Australia.
she's did not playing. Like obviously trying to save herself for the Olympics, which is more important at this point.
Yeah, I
if
got-
they had Caitlin Thorpe, Andy Wave would have won this game.
Also got word that ¿cómo se llama? Carusa is going to be out for a little bit longer than is actually said. Part of the reason why she didn't make the Irish Olympic national team. There's a little bit more to that. Not a lot of details as far as timeline wise, but listed as parentheses thigh. But it's one of those injuries that's going to take a little bit longer to heal. Paul, who was next? Was it Abe? It was probably Abe. Let's hear from Abe.
Abraham, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, could you talk a little bit about the game that Naomi Gilmore played today, able to stop Sophia Smith at the top? What did you see out of her today?
Out of Nay?
Yeah.
I think you see a top
He's getting to know the players, guys.
Nay.
footballer. I thought of Nay and Abby were fantastic. I felt we were brave with the ball. Caleb was fantastic. Our fullbacks. Again, I'd be nitpicking if I said anything different. We have such great honesty in the team, and we have some very good footballers. And Nay's right up there, of course. You know, we were brave. We did try to go and score goals, and that was always going to leave us 1v1 at times. But we handled it very, very well. And again, you know, when you're standing there and you're watching as manager, I couldn't see them scoring. And I think it was pretty scruffy the way it developed. It wasn't, you know, like it was, they opened us up. It sort of fell. I haven't seen it back. But I'm just desperately disappointed for the players. And I said that to them. Football can be cruel sometimes. But if we keep playing like we're playing, it will turn. It will turn for us. So, yeah, I'm very proud of the players.
At what point do you have any accountability, right? You didn't win. Like, I'm tired of this. I'm gutted for the player. Like, no. Be pissed at your players that you didn't win.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
come on.
It's okay to be gutted for the players, but also just I don't think it's the players. Honestly, the way you're playing is what the issue is. Like
would we rather would we rather them come out and say, look, our offense sucks? Not in those words, obviously, but to necessarily put sections of the team under the bus. And because, you know, obviously the offense is where it's kind of breaking down.
That's
because the coach is going to protect the team and put themselves out there. Yeah, and I think that's what cost Casey Stoney too her job too.
That's the issue, right? How many times have we seen the great coaches like Mourinho and everything call out players and saying, "Hey, this player needs to step it up." I mean, and it's like a wake up call for the players. Like, it takes a great coach to take ownership of that. And you know what? Those same great coaches will take ownership when the team performs. Like, instead of saying, "I'm gutted," like we did everything right.
Be gutted. That's fine.
Say, "Hey, like I need to do my part as well as a manager here and dive in more into training and change something up. And I got to figure that out. And that I take this responsibility for this loss." Never heard that from anybody. At least here, whether it was Casey Stoney or whether it was Paul Buckle now, like I have yet to hear that from those coaches. And I see that all over the world with great managers where they take responsibility in it. But when they know it wasn't them and it was players that are not performing, they call it out.
You don't have to go too far with getting called out. Emma Hayes actually pretty much called out Alex Morgan. She said, "Your performance isn't good enough for this Olympic team."
There you go.
That should have been an impetus. That should have been the catalyst to
she
turn
didn't
around.
get called up to the Gold Cup. Like, let's not forget that. She had to be the replacement for Mia Fischel, and then she showed up and played really well, earned some more call-ups, and in those call-ups and in her club play, kind of just proved what Emma Hayes originally thought, which was she's not at the level right now, and she isn't one of the best forwards in the U.S. And yeah, I do agree with 619 Soccer that Casey did a lot of the time. She would go and talk about everything, and then she'd always just kind of at the end, but well, it's on me. We got to switch things up at training. Like, she would say very shortly, and I do believe that some things were kind of somewhat changed, but it was a little bit more responsibility. Also, we never said the score. The Wave lost 1-0.
1-0. No, I think we said it a couple times. I know I saw the comment here.
I don't think we said the score. The Wave lost 1-0.
1-0.
But yeah, Casey Stoney, when she would talk about it, she would say very much like Pio Herrera's like, "Oh, seguir trabajando.
We gotta keep working.
We gotta keep working.
Keep working.
And that's just that generic answer. We just got to keep working. But I mean, I guess it is what it is. I mean,
Did I
something's
asked
definitely
something
gotta change.
after? What did I ask, Paul? It again, just to take you behind the curtain. We have lives. We have things that we do. And at this
What were
point,
you guys doing during this press conference?
I mean,
Where were you guys?
I was watching the game, and then
I'm assuming. Do you all do it from your phone?
I did it. No, I
didn't
usually
do it?
do it through a laptop, but this time I had to do it through my phone
I
with
always
the
do it through- I
AirPods.
usually do it through my phone.
But there's a very tight space in the apartments where I'm at right now, and like I was backing up the truck when the meeting came up. I was like, and I was just like, it's a very small space, so I was literally backing up into a very tight parking spot. But then you guys saved the day by going first, so thank you.
Yeah. You just gotta raise your hand as soon as you.
Yeah, no, you
start,
you
like-
gotta. Trying to think what here.
I was at home at my computer, ready and prepared. I'm always prepared for these press conferences. What do you mean, Chiba?
Damn right you
I
are.
was too.
Hey, no, I mean we watch the games. Like we get it done.
I
No, I'm-
almost always hate going first because it feels like you need to ask, like, hey, what were your overall thoughts? I really wish they would start him again where, hey, coach, if you want to give just kind of like your thoughts first, and then we'll open it up to questions. Like I think Loyal would do that all the time,
Mhm.
where they would kind of like, hey, like,
What are your thoughts
What
on
were
the
your
game?
thoughts?
Blah blah blah.
Open
Open
up
to
to
any
questions,
questions. But it's fine. We if we got to burn a question, that's why there's three of us covering San Diego Wave here, and San Diego's #1 soccer outlet, San Diego Football, for all your San Diego soccer needs, including San Diego Wave, and that's what we have done. Not to make an excuse, but the refs are ruining the gameplay for all teams, not just the Waves as playback project. I mean, refereeing is refereeing, and I think if anything, that's more of an even playing field if they are doing,
If everyone's getting screwed by the refs, does that mean no one is getting screwed by the refs? Is that fair to say?
same treatment, same energy to everyone.
yeah, I mean, do better, referees, do better, but everybody's kind of paddling upstream, and some teams are paddling better and have better paddles, and they're getting it done, and some are getting left behind and gonna fall off the waterfall here pretty soon. But San Diego Wave do still have a chance to make playoffs, and that's a reality. And
They're only 5 points away from a playoff spot. And you know what? It's funny because the conversation is slowly changing in this podcast, where it's like, okay, well, the Shield's gone. We've been knowing this like
Yeah.
10 games into the season. The Shield's definitely gone. Hey, they're only 1 point away from playoffs. Now it's they 2 points. 2 weeks ago, it's hey, they're only 3 points away from playoffs. So that's still win, and now it's 5 points.
Yeah.
So little by little, each week, every 2 weeks, they're getting farther, and that point gap is getting bigger. Yes, it's only a 2-win difference, but again, seeing the trend, Wave is dropping at a slow rate.
Yeah.
But that point gap is definitely expanding.
And guess what's gonna happen? San Diego Wave make playoffs. They're the last spot in the playoffs to go into it, and they're gonna hail Paul Buckle as the hero that saved San Diego Wave. In case you would have done this,
I'm gonna say this right now. The way Wave are playing right now,
Mhm.
there's no chance they make playoffs.
No. Absolutely not. There's right.
And if nothing changes, and I mean, unless they bring someone else in, I know there's talks of some bringing another midfielder in or anything like that. Unless that midfielder is like some sort of like wonder kid or someone that's world class and can definitely change anything.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it right now. I think Wave miss out on playoffs this season.
That's a very, very good possibility. Esteban was asking, are there any rumors on a new coach for San Diego Wave? I think we were talking a little bit before, just like, hey, might be overseas where the club is Spain. As Abe is alluding to, can be definitely a destination or an origin for one of these replacement coaches permanently for San Diego Wave. We'll just do this last question. I remember it was a good response that he had. Coach, take it away.
Tom, we'll have you go.
That's
That's
Tom.
Tommy
Hi,
boy.
Tom. Hey, Tom. Hey,
You're still
he's
backing
good.
up.
He's good. That was still backing up. Hey, Tom. All right. Follow-up question sounds good. Also, you got to put your hand down in the Zoom, or else they ask if you want a follow-up question. Hey, Tony.
Thank you, Coach, for your time. Obviously, today's performance was pretty much a microcosm of the season where the defense has been really well structured, but it's the offense that's leaving some lack production. Do you think this is more of a tactical positioning that needs adjustment, or could this also be a mental aspect to go along with it?
Yeah, it can be both. I think when you're on a run, every team will go on these runs, and unless you're Manchester City or a team like that, you go on these runs, and I looked at our core values. I looked at some of these values that the team had put down at the start of the season. I used them, and the top one was positivity. And I'm going to stay really positive because we're so close. We are so close to scoring, and there's nothing else you can do. I mean, we have changed in our attack. I think we're a lot more adventurous now in what we're trying to do. And we're creating chances. When it goes in, I thought it was tonight with Alex's goal. I still think it was a goal. That's what we need. We need something to build on in front of goal. But it is the hardest thing to do in the game. And they probably second half was the only clear chance, and they've put it away. So again, I've been in it so long now. I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat anything. But if we keep doing what we're doing, and then we attach some runs, and this is brand new, the last 10 days, I can see it scoring goals.
All right. If
Well, the Wave have yet to score a
That's-
goal.
that's the
under,
missing.
under buckle-ball.
it's the power of positivity that's missing, the New Day, greatest tag team of the
If
WWE.
you believe the
It-
goals will come.
I mean, if you build it, I guess, but they've been building it. They've been building the
Do
plays.
you believe in miracles?
They built
Um,
it and then they fired the person that built it.
100%. Which, and honestly, I think taking again that step back and just look at San Diego Wave this season, and I think this is the biggest disappointment overall. Not just that they're not playing well, not just that there's issues clearly on and off the field that need to be addressed in various ways, but the disappointment of just knowing this was the year, the 1 year where you were the only show in town. This is the 1 year to capture the imaginations of San Diego, soccer fans or non-soccer fans. This is the year to really have people pack Snapdragon and have the undeniable, undisputed title of heavyweight reigning, defending, badass soccer champions of San Diego. And it's just not happening. The firing of Casey Stoney contributes to that. The play on the field contributes to that. What we're going to discuss here in a couple of seconds, a couple of moments, contributes to that. But overall, I think San Diego Wave has royally fumbled this season. Absolutely, in a lot of different aspects. And we know people that work within. We work people who will volunteer. The one group that I will shout out through all of this, the fans, great, but the sirens. We have the call of the sirens. They've also gone through a lot with this team the last couple of days, last couple of weeks, and their attitude of positivity and just the outlook that they have of just supporting the players, supporting the game out there is really admirable. And it's something that people need to take notes who are in that space of supporters groups and just going through it. And that's somebody who I feel for, of like, hey, like this is the cruelty of soccer, but man, sometimes a little bit too cruel where, there's collateral damage to this, and there's groups of volunteers who put hours into this. And for us, like, we're a little bit removed because we can be callous about things because we have to. We get information, we see the results, we see stats, and we just talk about the facts. And that's just ultimately what this leads to. And the fact is, San Diego Wave is not a good team right now. They have the players, but they just don't have. They don't have it. They don't have it. They don't have the je ne sais quoi. They don't have anything. Like, I don't know if there's a big in the big comfy couch notebook back there, some magic tactics. I love that, by the way. Steve from Blues Clues is absolutely looking
For
down
the
upon
audio
you.
listeners, I have a handy dandy notebook in my background.
We need to get you a
And
giant crayon.
There's, that's the answer. Positivity.
All right. But
No positivity, yeah. Well, I mean,
move-
that looks like Paul Buckles' instructions for coming in. Like, what are we gonna do? Just blank pages of like,
all right.
got it, autopilot.
Before
Go.
we get into all the other
Yes.
stuff, I do think we should talk about some of the other players that got called up for their international break. I
Yes.
believe we posted about it. It was Hanna Lundqvist, Sofia Jakobsen heading for the Euro qualifiers. Maria Sanchez is going to be playing in a friendly against the USA. That should be fun. Little
Mhm.
Gold Cup rematch between Mexico and USA. Maybe make USA a little nervous before they head off for the Olympics. And then Melanie Barcenas, Kimi Escaño going to the U17s in Atlanta, which Atlanta for a summer camp, that should be illegal.
Yeah.
That's not cool. I feel so bad for Escaño and Barcenas there.
I mean, that's the hub for U.S. soccer now, right? With that new facility that they built out there.
Technically it is.
Why would you put it in Atlanta? It's so hot.
Because the fans are there.
There are fans there. That's true.
How about Eagles?
Fans.
Oh
Also,
my.
for San Diego Way, before we getting everything else,
Yeah.
I mean, they have their summer tournament against Liga MX. So San Diego Wave will be playing Saturday, July 20th against Bay FC, and not only, but in Torero Stadium.
That's going to be cool.
So that's going to be fun. Gentlemen, we get to go back to Torero Stadium one last time. I mean, at least we thought we said
For
that
another
before.
time. Yeah, no, it'll be fun.
Well, one more time, we get to go to Torero Stadium.
One more thing, there were 2 other San Diego players, not just Wave players, San Diego Surf players that got called up to that under-17 team. So Jaden Rodriguez and Edra Bello or Bayo, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but they both got called up. So shout out to them as well for getting that called up.
Perfect. All right. We do have a guest from Soccer USA coming in here at 9 to talk about the community aspect of San Diego soccer. But this also, as we were alluding to, is part of the community aspect and something that must be spoken of because we do cover soccer in its entirety here in San Diego. And I'm going to pull up that little timeline that you had. But essentially, last week it came down from a former employee of San Diego Wave via Twitter of allegations really pointing out a toxic work environment that led essentially to be detrimental for her mental health. And, you know, it's incredibly serious, just kind of talking about the organization perpetuating discrimination against women, quote, and demonstrated complete disregard for the long-term mental health. So in these things that are being spoken of and coming out, it was picked up immediately because this, from what I've learned in being in this women's soccer community and just covering it, is that people will go to bat when something's not right, and they will go full throttle, and they will make sure that the right thing is done and that all boxes are checked in terms of making sure that people are taken care of on and off the field, which is incredibly commendable. And that's something that we want to make sure that we mention off the top, that regardless of what ends up happening, 2 or 3 or however many things can be true at the same time. At no point do we want to diminish anybody's experience or lived experience or lived realities based on what they went through and their overall experience, like I said, through their eyes. We can't do that. We can go ahead and be apathetic. We can be empathetic. We can be all types of pathetics in that situation, but we're never going to be in that, right? 1, 2. What we're tasked with here in San Diego Punto Football is to come out with the facts. And the facts have come out. Are they one-sided in the sense that obviously there's one side where these are this information was brought up to us? Yes. San Diego Punto Football has reached out for comment on several platforms, on several of the individuals and women who have come out, because now it's 4, as it was reported also on the opening broadcast of the Portland Thorn San Diego Wave game, where it was said that this was already an investigation that was open and shut, open and closed, where an independent third party did not find any wrongdoings for the allegations that Miss Brittany Alvarado ended up bringing up in her post. By the way, stop me if you want to interject anything, Abe.
I think, real quick,
go
just when you talk about like that culture of like fighting in terms of U.S. women's soccer fans or just women's soccer fans in general, it does come from like a culture of abuse that
100%.
has been suffered, whether it be through having to fight for equal pay, for equal existence, honestly, just in any women's sports in general. I think there's an inherent just activism that has to be involved in women's sports, which is like unfortunate. It should just exist and we should just be able to appreciate it equally with other sports, but it has to be promoted and there has to be a certain level of activism just for it to exist. And within the NWSL itself, we've seen so much like abuse, whether it be from the Gage Report stuff in Portland, North Carolina. So many different teams have had different coaches, different issues on the field affecting players, and in some cases affecting other employees too. That I think it is unfortunate, but a lot of fans have seen this before, seen this kind of thing before, and we're like, it's unfortunate that this is just such a common thing
Mhm.
that automatically a lot of people just boom, we need to like organize an attack. And like in this case, I think it's important that a lot of people speak out, and certain people feel the need to speak out. And when one person speaks out, we saw other employees spoke out, and I think that's important. And the first statement by the Wave was a little bit questionable. Just immediately did not, because it was the
100%.
one statement just immediately saying nope, not true. We're gonna pursue legal action.
Yeah,
When
litigation.
I think for most U.S. soccer fans, women's soccer fans in general, would more prefer to see, hey, investigations were done into these issues already. Like that could have been the first statement, honestly, saying,
Yeah.
hey, what the NWSL said on their broadcast was probably a better statement. It was saying, hey, we did third party investigations were done into these things made by this former employee and also the other 3 employees, and they said no wrongdoing was found within our organization. That's what the Wave say happened, and that should have been the first thing they said.
Honestly, this statement from Wave kind of shoots themselves in their own foot, saying like, "Oh, this is a very toxic statement coming from the club too, saying that we're going to pursue legal action." So
Yeah.
it's not a good look from the club with this statement as well.
Yeah, it's not a good look. And from what I have understood, and again, this is coming from one side of things because, and this invitation stands. If at any point, any of the individuals making the accusations, these incredibly strong accusations, and want to go ahead and just get their perspective, we want to go ahead and give that equal platform to go ahead and refute any and all claims and give their side of the story and give their side of what they've gone through. It doesn't have to be on camera. It doesn't have to be here. It can be separate, and we can go ahead and have that. But I think it's also very important to have that other side. However, that side just isn't there. Then man, we didn't talk about this.
They shouldn't have to like having someone re-experience that stuff. Like it's a thing in journalism. Like it's hard to ask someone to share these stories. Someone has to be willing to do this, and if not willing, that's completely fine because these
Yeah.
are tough
Yeah.
things that we're talking about and tough issues that these people say they've had happen to them, and the way that this organization made them feel like
Yeah.
it's scary.
It is, and in a court of law, these are things and conversations that must happen. Otherwise, this can't move forward. I'll give you a very personal example. My dad was constructively terminated. He was going blind, and they constructively terminated him as a salesman. He couldn't do his job, and they didn't provide the necessary tools in order for him to keep performing the job. We had to go through. He went through his own trauma. Litigation wise, it was difficult for him to even speak the trauma that he went through. But because of that, in the legal standing, there was no actual statement with under oath that would move this forward in a lot of ways. And we can keep going here with some of the things that we said with our information in a lot of different ways. Chiba and I, and we talked to Abe about this, we experience a very uncomfortable set of situations that put us in a precarious place with our job. Clearly, we've talked about it for 4 years. We work in education, and here's the reality where a student comes up and confides in you saying, hey, this other student hit me. They did something inappropriate to me. Then you, as a supervisor, have to do your investigation. Hey, the coach, did you see this? No. Okay, first of all, right up for them. Like you got to have 100% visual at all times. So that's taken care of. But then at the end of the day, you still have to have that conversation with that little girl's parents and tell the parents, hey, they're saying that this happened. And you may believe that girl 100%, but because you don't have that fact, there's nothing to go on and you can't act on it. And those are uncomfortable situations that you and I face. And it's the reality of, just little human beings learning how to be human beings at a time. It doesn't excuse anything. It doesn't diminish the experience that that person who's accusing actually felt and went through, because clearly there is something that prompted them to act and just share that trauma, much in the same situation here, where something clearly decided to click into place, where they had the courage to come out with it, with these statements. Um, but this is a difficult just situation. And the last time I felt like this was San Diego loyal Andrew Carlton, like having somebody who was accused of being an insurrectionist and having those difficult conversations, and having the locals and the chavos take the brunt of that, because oh, you supported an insurrectionist. What the rest of the league was saying, the rest of the country was saying, like, this is who you are. In the same way here, the sirens, the fans are not having to take the brunt of, oh, you're supporting Jill Ellis, you're supporting this. When in reality, this investigation was open and shut months ago. This isn't something that was open within the weekend or within the week, and Wade decided to say this investigation is already done. Told the broadcast, hey, tell them it's already done. This is an investigation that had already happened months ago. There are certain aspects that we can't get into, that we are privy to, because they're still legal matters and there's still pending investigation surrounding that. Now, I think it's good time to get into what we tweeted. Is there anything else, Jen, before we kind of get into that? No, cool. So on our end, because again, we're here sticking to the facts that we have, we were able to corroborate that. Where to go? ¿Dónde estás? There we go. San Diego Punto Football has confirmed that the origin of the email cited in the former employee's social post about the San Diego Wave's front office did not come from a Wave FC email account. Instead, they were sent from a, quote, Hotmail account impersonating a Wave employee. This Hotmail account also sent other emails to other individuals connected to and outside of the club. The information was confirmed, and obtained copies of those emails are in our possession. But again, because of those matters legally, we cannot have those out. Other outlets are investigating this, and this eventually can potentially come out. But that's the facts that we have. People are thinking that the person who sent these emails was from Jill Ellis, and that's why she's getting a lot of the flack. It's the person who was being impersonated is not Jill Ellis. The person who was being impersonated is not anybody who anybody knows outside of the actual club. But when people say, well, it can be, how would somebody have all this insider information? It could potentially be a former employee. It could be an employee who's still there. It can be a myriad of reasons. However, that origin of the email that was on the original post by Mes Alvarado was confirmed to be a fake email. Nobody from within the club sent that. I will once again back that up. If there is evidence to go ahead and refute that, I will welcome that with open arms, and we'll go ahead and report on that as well. But until then, it's not something that we can do at this moment. This is where things kind of blew up. You were away from your phone. I had to, tick, 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 tick on this and on socials. It's a very tense time. It's a very sensitive time to even be speaking about these things, and it's unfortunate, Abe.
Yeah, and I think that like when we just a bigger conversation about like digital footprints and emails, and like the internet is generally anonymous place, and things like this can happen. It's bad and terrifying, and it sucks that a person decided to take this kind of action and send like fake emails to like current employee, former, like a person decided to send fake emails from this fake account. Whoever that person is sucks. That's a horrible person, bad thing to do. Doing that kind of thing is like just really bad, And like it's always going to be hard in the digital landscape to kind of track that stuff, and we might never know who, what, when, what those emails were sent. So it sucks on all levels, because when you're online, it's way too easy to be anonymous. Honestly, I think personally, in my point of view, people should have to put their face out to their opinions. Like, there's a reason as a journalist that I have my opinion. When I put my face, when I tweet something out, when I write something, my name's on that byline. I think that should just be it in general for the world. If you're going to say something, you have to say it with your face. And the fact that this kind of thing happened, it sucks. It's really horrible.
Yeah, and there's going to be more things that are going to be coming out, not necessarily from us, but as the investigation kind of goes through, there is where there's smoke, there's fire potentially, and that's something that we want to make sure that everybody gets taken care of, and it shouldn't feel like nobody should ever feel like this in the workplace, out of the workplace. No individual should make anybody feel that way. In a soccer sense, we're not even talking about that. I went back and forth just saying like this isn't a man versus women. This isn't a this issue. It's just a human being issue. Let's not be that 619 Soccer never said it was specifically Ellis. No, but that was a narrative that was out there, and this is where this took its own life form, where people were coming out of the woodwork and kind of going after us and attacking like, oh, why would you say this if you don't have all the information? Well, we have the information. We're reporting on the information that we have, and so that's something that is really kind of, it puts us in a weird position, because then I can't say, well, the other side has this, because there is no evidence from the other side yet. We would love to have that, or else we might have been, they still had knowledge, and it seems like they wanted to put more gas on the fire. Yeah, and from the information that we saw through those sources, I think that it just clearly an example of that. But overall, like, and we'll switch it here coming up with Reed Fox talking about Street Soccer USA and the soccer community. But just, it's going to be an ongoing conversation. These are tough conversations. The club has met with the supporter group, and that's something that is ongoing, and hopefully it's on the mend. And the only thing that we here at Santiago Punto Football care is that everybody enjoys and it has a safe place to really enjoy the game and move forward with that. It doesn't minimize or disregard any sort of actual suffering that people might have gone through. And that's something that we are going to go ahead and be proponents of. Is just it's like Batman. We want justice, like justice throughout. And trust me, Abe, trust me, people who are watching, I will take an opportunity to criticize a club. It does not take much for me to say, nope, that's not right. Oh, no, that's not good. Oh, that's not this. Like, what are we doing here? That's not the issue. The issue is sticking to the truth and making sure that everything is taken care of. Because, and this is the last point I'll make on this, is that people say that the U.S. and the community here is like a melting pot, right? It's not. There's two different theories: a melting pot theory and a salad theory. You ever heard of the salad theory?
Yes, of course. I'm
Boom.
Latinx minor studies.
Yeah. So if you're not privy to that, it's that, like, yeah, melting pot mixes all the ingredients and it's one cohesive thing, right? But the salad theory is that, well, you have a salad, this thing is a salad, and each individual ingredient is highlighted. You can tell what each thing that makes this one beautiful thing comes together. It's not just amalgam of just goo put together. Still good sometimes, but at the end of the day, San Diego's gone through a lot recently with that, just off the field issues. We will continue this conversation because people want to make sure that people feel like they're being heard. We do have a guest coming up here to talk about a positive aspect of the game here, and hopefully that's how it turns out. Abe, do you have any final thoughts here?
Yeah, always mental health is super important. Reach out to people in your community, people that you know, friends, always, and just in case. 988, I think, suicide hotline number, in case, because there were issues of suicide in this issue. So I think just always be thinking about yourself, thinking about your community, because anything can be happening to any person at any time. It's scary. And if any of you out there listening, someone loves you. We love you. Thank you for listening.
Yeah,
we can have different
reached out to a couple people through this podcast about that, and we're always here to talk to. We're not anything specifically special. We
don't feel like you're alone.
Yeah, no, 100%. We're here for you. Tony Sanchez and Chiva and Abe are here for you. San Diego Punto Football is here for you.
Love you, Tony.
All right. Well, that has been the coverage of San Diego Wave for this week, and we might bring it back here because it is an important topic. Because we do, there I am. Hello. Because we do have a ship that is rowing and sailing, we do have a guest that's coming on to talk about a positive aspect happening here in soccer in San Diego. We're going to have Reed Fox. He is El Jefe de Jefes here with Street Soccer USA, who's having an event coming up. We're going to go ahead and welcome him as he prepares, I believe, to be part of the San Diego soccer fabric and take part in some soccer. But we're going to welcome to the show for the first time, Mr. Reed Fox.
What's
Hello
going
there,
on?
Reed.
How we doing, fellas?
Good.
How's it going?
Perfect.
Good. I got a game tonight, so I'm in the parking lot.
That's what you got to be. You're about it. You're out there, and that's what we love about the community is that they are a participant in the soccer community. So, Reed, you're part of the team that has Street Soccer San Diego here, Street Soccer USA San Diego. Could you tell us about how it came about that you're landing here with the San Diego name attached to Street Soccer USA and kind of the background to this?
Yeah, we're really excited to be in San Diego. Street Soccer USA is a national nonprofit in 14 cities across the country, and our mission is to fight poverty and strengthen communities through soccer. And so we do that through a variety of programs, but we target the most at-risk, low-income, high-need communities and bring free soccer programming to them. So we work with Title I school districts to run after-school programming. We work in low-income neighborhoods to run free community soccer clubs. You guys know, and everyone knows, the pay-to-play club model is out of control, and it's out of reach for a lot of families, especially, the immigrant and refugee families that love the game so much. So many of them are being priced out of it, and it's a real shame. So we're really trying to combat that. And then, in addition to our youth programming, we run adult programs for homeless individuals, people in drug rehab facilities, refugees, and one target population I'm really looking forward to working with in San Diego is our veterans. Um, and so, using soccer to do some of these things you guys were just discussing, and strengthening communities and focusing on mental health and having a safe space to play and just have fun, and build positive relationships. And so that's kind of what we're all about. And we've been trying to get to San Diego for quite a while because I think there's no better place in the country for it, but we're really excited to be there now.
Yeah, no, and absolutely. And I'm really curious to see. I mean, you have this event coming up in the Escondido futsal courts for a high school tournament. How did this come about? How did this partnership with Manchester United come about as well?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. We worked with the city and the Loyal when they were still around to get those courts built before we were in San Diego. So we were happy to see those courts built, and we really want to get them activated and used. What's great about those courts is that the city of Escondido leaves them open and unpermitted. They're open for anybody to use. And I went down there a few weeks ago. There's an amazing set of brothers, Edwin and his brother, and they organize pickup games there all the time. And then there's 50 kids playing, there's 40 adults waiting to play, there's people playing on the tennis court next door. It's just amazing to see. But anyway, some of these big clubs reach out to us when they come to the States for their, summer tours, and they want to activate the community space and, promote what we're doing. And so they're playing in LA a few days before, and they're going to do a little mini tournament with our kids in Watts in LA. And then before their game at Snapdragon, we're going to use the Escondido futsal courts and run a high school tournament for largely low income immigrant kids, refugee kids. And we're partnering with a lot of great organizations to provide those players and teams who are already doing amazing work in San Diego, and people that, we're hoping to partner with in the future.
Absolutely, and we're just seeing the flyer here on Street Soccer USA or Street Soccer SD, the branch here locally in San Diego. Wednesday, July 31st, 8:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Do we have capacity? Is it at capacity? What are we looking at right now?
Yeah, we want to ensure that we're engaging with our, target demographics. And so all of our players and teams are coming from our partners who are doing good work, like the Monarch School, which was the first school designed in the country specifically for homeless kids. New Vision Urban Impact in City Heights does amazing work with refugee kids. And then some of these local free futsal groups, Escondido Futsal, Bridge Barcata, obviously, and Chicano Futsal, who they work with. And then the Chula Vista Pickup Soccer Group, which is an amazing group of guys as well. So right now, we're at capacity. If there's kids or other organizations that want to be involved, we encourage them to reach out to us on our Instagram, and we'll figure out a way to get them involved. We can make a third court on the tennis courts, and we just want to get as many kids out there playing as possible, and get this Escondido and street soccer vibe in front of the whole world with the audience that Man United has.
I love that. It's going to be Street Soccer SD, the Instagram page where you can follow everything and all the updates for this tournament. And yeah, no, reach out. That's great to hear that you guys are at capacity. It's a bad thing. No more people can sign up here, or if there's enough demand to make Reed work a little bit harder, even though he's already working as much as he can right now.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, we're all about meeting the community where they're at. So if there's another 50 kids that want to play, another 100 kids, we'll figure something out and make it work. That's what we do. We never really turn anybody away, and we're not worried about how good you are, how skilled you are. Nobody here is going to be playing for Manchester United, even though that'd be amazing. But it's about having a good time and really celebrating the community around soccer. And if anybody's interested in learning more about us or getting involved, hit us up on our IG. We need volunteers. We need donors. We need partners. We need everything because we're starting from the ground up. So anything would be greatly appreciated.
Well, you got a partner in San Diego Punto Football whenever you need it here. So we'll amplify any message, and we'll try to get as many kiddos and people out there. Chiba?
I mean, Reed, I wouldn't personally be doing my job. I'm a big Man U fan.
Mm.
Any word on who the player that's going to be coming out is?
Yeah, you have to ask.
I have to ask.
Yeah, I can't reveal it just yet, but I've heard a couple rumors. I mean, it will be a pretty well-known player from the past decade or two, so it should be somebody everybody knows. And yeah, we're excited to get a guy out there who everybody will know, and I hope you guys can pull up.
Yeah, no, 100%. We will definitely be there. Again, go ahead and hit up the Instagram, Street Soccer SD, for any and all updates on this first, I believe, just kind of tournament here. And hopefully the first of many to really supplement the community. And it's really important. I'm really glad that you connected those things as far as like why these things are important. We're talking about mental health. We're talking about the professional stage here with San Diego Wave, the women's team, and just in general, like soccer shouldn't be limited or limiting at any times for anybody in any capacity. Instead, it should be liberating and freeing. And I think this is exactly what the city needs in order to go ahead and move in that direction. That's Street Soccer SD. Reed, is there anything else so we can touch on before we let you go and play your game? What position do you play, by the way?
I'm a striker. I'm a number 9. I was recruited to play D1 and played a little after college, but now my hamstrings are just twigs and I can play like 10 minutes at a time, but I still like getting out there when I can.
I love that. Perfect. Street Soccer SD is the Instagram page. Anything else before I let you go, Reed?
No, thank you guys for having me on. And please, if anyone's interested in learning more, just hit our DMs and we'll get you involved.
Absolutely. Thank you. Reed Fox from Street Soccer USA SD. We're going to definitely reconnect. Enjoy the game.
Good luck in your game.
You need a hat trick to Reed.
Let's see what I can do, boys. Thank you.
Got it. Thank you. Appreciate
Good
it.
one.
All right. Look,
Who
aspects of
would
the community.
Player be?
Juan
Mata? I mean, he's been in San Diego.
He's been in San Diego.
He's been here to promote the Real Betis match.
The game, yeah. I before just to kind of put this thread on everything. I did like this comment. I want to make sure Chiba also feels like he's in a safe environment as well.
Thank you.
I think I've provided nothing but a safe.
Los Valles, ya todos.
Oh man. Oh man. Look, they're diamonds cut diamonds.
Guys, I will
here
tell you guys
San Diego
this.
Puerto Fútbol.
Tony's very supportive, and I know he loves me, and he knows I love him. Definitely haven't been too in tune with everything going on. I started limiting my social media intake to an hour a day.
Oh wow.
And I know you hate
Great.
that. I know you
Thank
hate
you.
that.
Thank you.
Just for my own well-being. Oh no, Abe said it's Casey Stoney.
Oh no, that wasn't a private message, sir.
I know, Abe.
Much
Come
like
on, man.
much like Casey Stoney is not the oh wow,
Abe,
that's our old
Abe
song.
just said all opinions have to have a face, right? So
where is it? Where'd it go? Did I miss? I don't even know where it went.
I don't know.
We played.
Oh,
not
no,
that
not
one.
that one.
Not that one. Breaking news: Casey Stoney is not the new SDFC coach. Casey Stoney is also not the Manchester United legend that's going to make an appearance for Street Soccer SD. Confirmed.
Abe, I tried. I mean, Esteban, I tried.
Yeah, no, we tried.
to ask,
It'll be somebody like Cantona. Nope, he would
2
be
decades. That's
flying.
what, 3 decades?
He'd be fly kicking people in the chest. And that's a crime. It's a good guess. That'd be pretty cool. But we'll see.
Is Soccer USA hiring?
We'll find out. But yeah, in any case, these are the stories that are intertwined with soccer in San Diego, and there's a lot of aspects that go into El Zarape, as we named this segment, which I didn't have a banner for, but it's El Zarape de San Diego. It's woven into one.
El Zarape.
There's more than 18 threads in the city of San Diego. I'll say that.
El Zarape.
And I'm glad that he mentioned again that mental health aspect, because that's what it is, man. Like, look, the only thing that I personally, and this is kind of putting the veil behind, taking the veil off of what happened this past weekend, is like, I've checked with a lot of different people just because I want to make sure that I'm not being dismissive, or if I'm in the wrong, tell me I'm in the wrong. I went over with my girlfriend about this, and she's I don't want to divulge too much, but she's worked in the social services, and literally the strongest of cases of, say, like domestic crimes, and just it's tough out there, and it's one of those things where there's no winners in those situations. I know Abe is on standby if we want to just kind of retouch on anything there. You can. I'm gonna bring you in, Abe.
Yeah, I did just want to say, going back to that, right? I know we're very much on, like what the facts are and figuring out what the truths are. But at the end of the day, there's also going to be a lot of the time where victims and people don't come out or are willing to speak up, is because that fear of not being believed just because there's no evidence.
Yeah.
And that's the shitty part when it comes to all this, right? At the end of the day, we're here to support anyone that's gone through a hard time like that, and we believe you. At the end of the day, like it happens a lot where they don't feel like they have anyone on their corner, and I think for us also, as not only journalists but also members of the community and huge advocates for the soccer or the game here in San Diego, we have to stand up for things like this, right? And for me, I hear 4 employees came out and said, hey, like, that there's a very toxic work environment in this club, and the club somehow already did the investigation and they did this, and that was a case closed. Props to you, but there's more you can do. Like, I think in a way, the club has done the bare minimum. And to no fault of their own, they have other things to have to do. But at the end of the day, if you're prioritizing and one of your pillars is positivity and being included in everything, then you have to prioritize something like this. And at the end of the day, something like this doesn't help the fact that your team is in shambles right now. You're not playing and you're not performing at a top level. The least you can do is focus on this right now. Your season's almost bye-bye. So I think the least you could do is focus on this and show some like sort of remorse or anything like that as well. But at the end of the day, you have to believe the stories, these allegations when they come out.
Yeah. And
it's a very difficult situation to be in as well.
And to move forward with that, we had asked, and I know Abe, you're chomping at the bit for to come in as well.
Yeah, no, I think everything that Chiva said made complete sense. I completely agree. And like something I said earlier about like opinions having to have a face, like when you're talking to us, if there's someone out there listening that wants to talk to us about their experiences having to deal with something like this on the team, we're open and you don't have to show your face. Like
Yeah.
I think an important part of journalism is having unnamed sources and being able to protect people's anonymity in that sense, especially when it's like issues like this. So if there is anyone out there that like you feel the need to talk to someone, like we're here for you, we support you. I think having to like go out and like immediately talk about victim, like where it looks like that initial statement where you're kind of blaming victims and like going after victims at 1st, it
Mhm.
has a chilling effect. And
Yeah.
like it's great that other people came out and spoke out, because that chilling effect can be, it's like harmful and dangerous in all aspects of life, not just like workplace abuse environment, but just like in like we see this in so many other parts of our world where
Mhm.
people are scared to speak out because there's a chilling effect from higher ups and organizations and stuff. It really sucks.
Yeah, it's not a happy situation. I'll tell you that much. And it puts a lot of people in a very awkward spot. And we hope that it gets resolved for the best ways for all people, but that's possible. And that's all we can hope for here on these sidelines. We're not trying to add any fuel to a fire that's clearly burning on its own.
Just here to bring attention to a
Yeah.
subject that needs that attention.
Yeah, 100%. And you know what? And this is again very off the script. Even Chiba, 'cause I didn't say this, but like the one thing that I took exception for was like, you know, people coming out and taking it out on the journalist aspect and being like, well, what's the point of this? Is for clicks? Like, no, it's like if we cared about the clicks, like we would have bought followers a long time ago. Trust me, we would have
10,000 followers by now.
we would have been in popular in Russia or something, wherever those bots come from. But
It's not about the clicks for us. It's never has been. For us, it's just to speak our minds as well, but also support those who need it.
and looking left, looking to the right, it's not a women's issue. It's not a man's issue. It's just a people, human decency, good person issue. It can be anybody feeling like this, going through this, should feel comfortable and have the safety to be able to not have to go through that. Unfortunately, it does happen from time to time. Unfortunately, there are times where there are reports out there of other times where things have happened like this under the eyes of certain individuals. But I mean, we're taking this case under the microscope. Like this is the case that we're looking at. This is the case that we're talking about. And in this case, the facts are there, and that's not to diminish anybody's again experience. It's just a shitty situation, and I mean, I know people have their feelings about it, and people are close to the situation. People are auxiliary to the situation.
And everyone's feelings are valid on this too.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not going to tell you like no, don't feel that way. Like
Yeah,
that's
no,
your
for
feeling.
sure.
That's a you thing, but that can also be the thing and the truth and the reality. But um, it's uncomfortable, and this is something I hopefully never have to really kind of retouch in this area because look, sure, like uh, the three of us guys, and that's gender labeling the three of us. We're the ones that are covering the team. I would love nothing more than to have more female colleagues asking Paul Buckle or Casey Stoney, whoever was there, these questions about on the field and really having a deep, good conversation about it. And there's a lot of supporters, there's a lot of fans who know an infinitely bigger amount of the women's game because they've grown up with it. They followed it for longer than we have, and those voices are out there and they're enjoying the game even more than we are. But this is our task. This is our responsibility, and I think we're carrying ourselves in a responsible way. That's the thing that I think we've done a good job in is sticking to what's out there, being factual, having our opinions based on those facts, and really having this open discussion where if anybody does feel like there is something else, please, like, at the end of the day, if at work a little wavette, a waveling, a wave fan comes up and sees these allegations about their heroes team, and it's definitely, these kids are smart. They'll ask us like, "Hey, what happened with this, Coach Alejandro?
And I
Coach,
was like,
like,
oh,
well, sometimes people at work, how do you explain that?" And that's where we come from. That's what pulls at our heartstrings, where it's like, it's not just a responsibility of people throwing people under the bus, it's not just a matter of criticizing individuals or institutions or organizations or companies. Same thing with SDFC. There's a reason why we do this. There's a love that we have for the game, for the community, for the people involved in it, and that supersedes anything that has to do with a silly little game. And I know people don't like me saying that, it's a silly little game,
it is.
but it is, that does stem passion. It stems greed. It stems envy. It stems incredibly disgusting behaviors. But it's also at the same time the thing that unites all of us. It's the thing that we all love. It's the thing that we all talk about, with grandparents, about like, oh, did you see what happened in this tournament? Oh, pinche Mexico, vale verga. Like, yeah, no, like it's the one thing that unites a lot of people, and I hope that's something that helps heal in a moment like this, where, I mean, the thumbnail for this, I don't know if you saw it, Abe, was a sign of "Welcome to San Diego on fire."
Is that a
That's what it
real
feels like.
picture?
Um, that's actually a snippet from a Conan O'Brien week of Comic Con shows where he was driving from LA to San Diego, and he was doing the Mad Max thing. And he was the guitarist on the big truck, and then he's driving past and says, "Welcome to San Diego," and it's building. So there are so many images like that on my phone where it's just like I save them for years, and then I'm like, today's a week, and then I'll go search for it, and like, oh, there it is. That's one of them. Because that's what it feels like. So soccer in San Diego has been for the past couple weeks, for an amalgam of reasons, none of which are necessarily the most positive. Some are positive, but at the end of the day, we're here just to talk facts and talk soccer and talk shop. And again, we welcome any and all comments and any and all discussions and dialogue, because that's what the show is. It's a talk show. It's a sports talk show. It's a platform that we're grateful to have, and the people who are listening and stay in tune, like, they know that we're good, well-intended people at the end of the day. Like, um, but I hope I don't have to touch on this anymore. Is there anything, Abe, that we did not touch on this particular issue?
One thing we didn't mention is that other players came out, or at least one, Sidney Leroux, came out and was
Yeah.
reposted the original post by Brittany, and then also has in the past criticized Jill Ellis for kind of a toxic environment as
Mhm.
far as working goes when she was on the national team. I think even Megan Rapinoe in her book spoke poorly about Jill Ellis during her time with the team, and then even I think she was benched when she kneeled for the national anthem by Jill Ellis.
Mhm.
So it's important to also recognize that too, because those are players that were under Jill Ellis during their times with the national team. But
Yeah.
other than that, I think we fit everything. Yeah, it's just
Yeah. Alex Morgan commented. I know, just tracking the career of Miss Alvarado, is that, she was with Alex at Orlando as well. Um, there's a lot of things that are not on us to share at this moment, just because we can, just because it's not our place, just because it's not confirmed or factual. That's kind of, we will say if it's speculatory, we will always say that, or say rumors or whatnot, just for transfers or anything as serious as this too. But until then, I think that's kind of a good place to just pause.
yeah.
Welcome everybody to be healthy. Welcome to everybody to speak out. Abe.
Speaking of transfers, sorry, I was gonna transition, but you can keep going. Do you want me to go on to transfers?
Speaking of transfers, Abe,
Speaking
let's
of
transfer.
transfers, Club
Yeah.
America is, according to the San Francisco Chronicle, about to sign Scarlett Camberos back to the Aguilas, which is a big deal. San Diego's own Scarlett Camberos, Bonita Vista High School. I think technically I went to school for 1 year with her. Didn't know her. Don't have any recollection. I've friends that are friends with her, So that's cool. I think that yeah, La Hija Prodiga. That's pretty cool. I think we're gonna see maybe she'll be scoring again at America. The situation why she left America in the first place was really toxic too. That's a whole nother
Yeah.
thing. Why she had to leave. She was being harassed, and the
By
fact
a
that she's gonna
stalker.
be able to go back to America is a pretty cool thing. I think.
Yeah. I think that she asked that in order the government had a guarantee that she was going to be protected. Otherwise, she was going to leave. She ended up leaving. It was a very another unfortunate situation where, like, man, like you just can't get away with away from it. Unfortunately, at times, just that unfortunate nature that goes along the most beautiful thing in the world, soccer. But yeah, I mean that's some good news to have her be able to go back and transfer.
And yeah, from BFC to Club America, they're about to play each other in the Summer Cup too, which is kind of interesting. Like she's gonna know all the tactics, all the stuff, and she's gonna go over to America immediately. Like they're just starting their season out now, gonna be able to tell them all the secrets and stuff. And then she's performed well against the Wave too. So when she plays for America against the Wave at Snapdragon, I think that's gonna be pretty cool.
How did the working and knowing all the tactics work out for Maria Sanchez when she played against Houston?
Did they tie? I think it was a tie,
Mm-hmm.
right?
They tied and they should have
Oh, yeah.
won.
It was 0-0. It was high.
Is
But
there a
the
question in
whole
there?
team changed after she left because they had an extra
Sure.
$500,000.
Because they had more cash.
Yeah.
More cash, more money, more capital to go ahead and spend it on. But yeah. So
I mean, Scarlett still also got called out for the national team. So
yeah, she did. So she's gonna she's gonna play Wave and her two former NWSL teams. That'd be fun. She just tears everybody, just knows all the tactics. Like, don't worry, I got this. It just goes on an absolute tear. So shout out Scarlett Cambreros.
America lost against Cruz Azul this weekend in Liga MX though, or Liga MX Femenil at least, and then Cholos, who they're not playing against the Wave, but I think they're another interesting source since they're local. They lost against Querétaro, I think. Mayra Pelayo got a red card, which not great, but I think it'll be fun to watch the Summer Cup. I'm excited for the Summer Cup. I mean, it's kind of like a new leaf for the Wave, I guess you can say. It's not a lot of international players. So you're gonna definitely see something new, I think. And getting to see these Liga MX teams, like I genuinely hope the Liga MX teams take it to some of these NWSL teams because that's just more fun to see when like the supposed underdogs or the betting underdogs come out and just show out. Like I hope we see that because that'll be fun to watch.
Oh no, but we were told that Liga MX femenil teams aren't at the level of a national team, or just the level of an NWSL team. So I don't know, man. Like that's
who asked that, man? That's
pretty tough sell there. But yeah, that's kind of what we have for today for San Diego Wave. It was loaded, it was split, it was charged. We needed a break there, but all in all, thank you for everybody who has come out in support of San Diego Football and just the work that we're doing. At any point, we'll have a conversation. Have a conversation with us. I welcome that conversation because I'm pretty sure that's gonna be a positive one. And at the end of the day, that's what we're here for. San Diego Football, the community of soccer. All right, Abe.
Oh, get it? Because you know what you guys talking about next? Whatever. All right.
Absolutely.
Bye, you guys.
Transition. That salute. That salute is important because we're going to transition into talking some SDFC, San Diego Football Club. Where's that from, Chiva? They'll give you two guesses.
Oh shoot!
Where is that music from? Just two guesses. Come on, guess.
Not your old band,
huh?
Your old band.
My old band. That is not my old band, Interscape. That is actually the song for San Diego Waves intro. That one's called White Orchard. That's the second version of it.
Is that from a TV show?
Yes. It's just turned into 20 questions.
Okay. Damn, I've seen this TV show.
In passing.
Simpsons.
Ooh, close in terms of me liking it.
South Park.
No, it's actually from Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z. Oh, okay.
Da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. San Diego FC, SDFC, the team, the club of Blue Productions. Shout out, DBZ, 100%. If you know me, I'm an encyclopedia of Dragon Ball Z. I'm an encyclopedia of
You
wrestling.
are.
I'm an encyclopedia of a lot of different useless things, actually. But yeah, so San Diego FC has made an announcement, which is probably their most current announcement in terms of just moves in general. There's not a lot to talk about with since Chucky Lozano, Chucky Mania, Lunai Mania, and all that good stuff. They did make and announce that joining the ownership group for San Diego FC is going to be none other than a former Marine. The last name is something that catches me. First name is Jocko, and that's what I know him because I admittedly listen to Joe Rogan's podcast. Not for Joe Rogan. There's not a lot of people give the platform to some of the individuals to talk about the crazy shit that go on to talk about there that have actual research. But that's another podcast as far as like why I listen. But anyway, from former Marine, as I'm saying, what's that? Willink, Willink. Jocko Willink is joining the membership group. Retired U.S. Navy SEAL. He's a renowned author. This I don't have a necessarily thing to say about like I'm not happy about this. You have absolutely no clue who this man is. No
Is this a
clue.
good thing? Is this a bad thing? Like, does this affect the day to day? I don't think so. But
people are going to say that it will because if you know the rhetoric and just some background, and I'm definitely not qualified to speak on allegations and background of what Jocko may or may not be involved with because that's government stuff and not get me after hours and we'll have a discussion on those things. But this kind of goes along the lines of what San Diego FC has been doing, and they've been doing, admittedly, correct, is that if there is a box to be checked, they will make sure to check that box. They have hit the Mexican community, La Raza, the Spanish-speaking community, not the supporter group La Raza, but or the artist formerly known as La Raza. I don't know. But they're certainly hitting that demographic checking that box. They're going to different cities. They're going and doing different events in these communities, checking that box. They're doing a lot of good and positive things. This,
checks another box.
checks another box. Yeah, you're gonna need that military presence here in San Diego to follow you. And there is a supporter group, the 18th Battalion, that does listen to San Diego Punto Futbol. And shout out Mr. Firefighter Trevor, who's follows the show. And this is definitely a good aspect. And I'm not here to speak ill of anybody who's put their life down for the armed service. And it's not for me. I'm definitely not brave enough to ever have made that ultimate sacrifice. But ultimately, this comes with a lot of different thoughts in terms of like, well, who is this for? Because as you're saying, you have no idea who it is. I'll guarantee you, most of the people that were at Chucky Mania also don't know who Jocko Willings is.
I mean, so he was a retired U.S. Navy SEAL. He was an author as well. Had some podcasts too, I believe.
Had some podcasts, makes podcast appearance. He's a very motivational speaker, and he's a don't make excuses kind of guy. And that's his style. Very, very David Goggins, if you know who that is.
I get the vibe.
And you know what? That's very necessary and positive for a lot of people who take that message that he has and change their life for the better and the positive. Different strokes for different folks. But again, this is another move that is all right. Well, SDFC is literally accepting all of San Diego in terms of like making sure that they capture everybody, which is a good thing. Like it's an admirable thing.
Difficult thing to do.
Now, there's a lot of people who saw this and were like, is this now I understand why they're giving pushback to the supporter group name. Now I understand, like, I don't think those are linked in any sort of way, but timing wise, I can see why people make those connections. and really kind of let their imagination run from there. But I'll let those be part of the Hell is Chrome podcast every Tuesday at 8. It's the supporter union podcast where they talk about those issues that are in the know. So shout out to Presidente of the union, John Cross, because that's where they are. That's where the supporter groups are. I know we haven't really talked about what the supporter groups have been doing as of late, but there's a union out of the 7 recognized supporter groups. They've come together under one umbrella. They have had elections. The president of the union, the alliance, is Mr. John Cross, representing the locals. Vice president is another actually veteran, somebody that we know very well, Miguel Barajas from Chavos Frontera Ultras. I know not Nick, the other Duffy. Oh my gosh, Duffy is also involved in there. And this is kind of the salad that's getting put together in the supporter groups for SDFC at this time. Do you have anything that make you feel anything with
about Joko?
yes,
Compa Joko?
yeah.
No, I mean, I again, I think it's like a very much Manny Machado type of ownership where he will just make some appearances in some events and it's cool, fine. I don't know too much about him, so it changes nothing. I was gonna ask you the supporters issue. Yeah, have they like ya arreglaron todas esas pendejadas o
No. They have not come
Cool.
into agreement from the last time that we reported on them. I know that the club SDFC and the Alliance are in talks and are in meetings in order to go ahead and have this sorted out. As we discussed, right? Again, very, very black and white. Like there's various sides to this that can or should be considered. My take still is like, hey, like you gave them the options to name themselves. They named themselves, and that's what it should be, right? Um, but in any case, there isn't a lot of discussion time here. Check out the Hellas Grown podcast. That's the supporters. We will have a space as these things do get resolved.
Yeah.
To give that space, to give the amplification for the supporters to go ahead and put any sort of events out there. Speaking of events, yes, you were eyeing for a reason.
Esteban just letting us know SDFC was at the 4th of July parade as well. Yeah, they were. I did not know there was such a thing as a 4th of July parade.
There's a 4th of July parade at
I
Coronado.
did not know
Absolutely.
that. I did not know that. That's pretty cool. This cannot be true, right?
Thorny, how true are those rumors floating around about SDFC making a Santi Jimenez an offer? It's along the lines of where there's smoke, there's fire. But
No.
if I was a betting man, which
I will tell you right now, there's no way in hell Santi Jimenez comes to the MLS anytime soon. I'm telling you that right now. Sources being anyone in Mexico. Like, no.
Chiva,
not happening.
Chiva.
SDFC can only dream to have Santi Jimenez. Come on. 22-year-old striker, 23-year-old striker, barely going to get his prime playing in Feyenoord. No, he's not coming to Mexico or the US at all.
Yeah. This is something that I was going to move into talking about SDFC. The other update that they did have was an update with the community and a video that they released. Speaking of the community that they're going to serve in the Right to Dream project, which is incredibly ambitious in what they want to do for the greater good of soccer in San Diego. And this was actually a couple months ago, back in April. We know a couple people that were there. About what these meetings were, and they kind of gave us the insight. It was along the lines of a meeting that was held at the Olympic Training Center where FC Norseland was here, where they're trying to get into the community, the soccer community. They're inviting leaders in different clubs around town, soccer wise. Hey, what's up, Brandon? Get us on with. But we'll go ahead and play some of that right now, because it is very interesting. And again, this wide net that they're casting is incredibly large and incredibly ambitious, and they're being successful in a lot of ways. Are they stretching themselves a little bit too thin? And maybe that's why some things aren't necessarily coming across as they would necessarily prefer or want, maybe. But we'll go ahead and play some of this right here. This was as San Diego FC put it, potential to be the epicenter of football excellence and innovation in North America. It just takes all of us to continue to grow the game.
Morning. Fantastic to see everybody here. And so how we've built our philosophy at Right to Dream is that we're committed long term to the kids that are in our academy. The kid who ends up going to college has equal joy and success for us as a kid who plays San Diego first team. A kid who comes back to coach in one of your clubs, having been in our academy, is an equal success to one of our guys or girls who's in one of our first teams or in the San Diego first team. So we're here to contribute long term. We're here to change lives. We're here to contribute to the soccer football ecosystem of San Diego, and we want to partner with everybody in the room in that regard.
We're trying to build a world-class facility, world-class coaching, world-class recruiting, world-class schooling. So that's the exciting part that we're in the middle of it, and I can't wait to keep sharing some of the strategies that we'll have. You guys have a point person within our team to whatever you need, we're here. Welcome, Mario.
Being part of the Football Community Connect and having this being one of my initiatives, seeing all these community leaders involved and invested and being part of it was just an incredible opportunity to first and foremost get introduced, but then understand that these are the first steps to something really great that we want to do for everyone.
As of now, probably the most common question I've had is, what is the director of football growth? And fortunately, it's a white canvas that allows me to explore the opportunity to see what success looks like based off of really some main principles, which is how could we either share, create, or enhance football here in San Diego?
The big takeaways from me was what the director mentioned, right? What soccer has meant to his life, and it resonated with me, right? I guess I'd never put it in that perspective. So seeing that the club is looking to invest in the community, I think the long-term benefit will be great.
To have these resources, something that's we only hear about, you only see in other countries, in other states, but San Diego is that city where we have the talent, we have for youth, we have the athletes, and we have the coaches as well.
We will be in the community. We want to work with the clubs to do what else can we give you? Is it coaching education? Is it scouting? So that's something that I don't think any other MLS team does. We want to do that. This is our community, and it goes both ways. I think, as Tom said, we're here to serve the community, not to serve the first team. And that's a unique mindset. This is long term. This is a 10-year project of how our players will live, but it's not 2 or 3. And the investment that the ownership has done is tremendous, from the facilities to what the team that's being built. And I think you guys will be very proud. There's never been an MLS club where the academy is a pillar of the team. All humans need a heart. This is the heart of the team. And you can't take out the heart because the team moves. As long as this ownership group is in place, I don't think this is going anywhere. I think just look at the complex we're building, $150 million, that this is long term. Our vision is 10 years. So no, I would say we're in a good place.
I was very educated on what San Diego FC is doing for our community, from Right to Dream to our academy. The kids have the great opportunity to live, breathe soccer under good role models and coaches, and I'm really excited to see what we have for the men and the women's future here in San Diego.
As Director of Football Growth, not only are we looking to provide opportunities for communities that have been underserved or have really never been tapped into, we're actually really excited about making sure that we invest in those who have invested into the community, that have been doing it for the right reason, that share our same philosophy, our same vision, our same values. So those coaches that are currently in San Diego, those that are community leaders, we want to make sure that we recognize them and that they understand that we're looking to collaborate with them, and that anything that we can do to enhance and provide more resource and more value to them to impact the game of football is something that we're really truly excited about.
All right, so that was the video that SDFC did provide and was on socials. It's what we've heard from this project that they want to make sure that they are part of the community. They are harvesting the community in a very kosher way, and that's pretty harsh to say it that way. But
I
to the
do-
comment, really quick,
yeah.
of a Toro Fuerte, what is about the odds of SDFC getting
Yeah, sure.
CR7? Yeah,
better,
sure.
better than Sandy Jimenez.
But that what they're trying to do is to make the next CR7. Like that's what they're focusing on for this larger project to get that next. Ay, tranquilo. Okay.
No, my
Yeah.
thing is yes, I buy in on all this, but I am curious in 3-4 years follow up with all the coaches that were there, and he's like, hey, how has SDFC supported you, or how has this?
Yeah.
How have they followed up on that promise, on what they're gonna provide, or how they're gonna help out, and see if they even gonna walk the walk.
Yeah, and what was interesting there is one of the final coaches was head of the don't a lot of MLS teams do this. Yes and no, not in the same way that SDFC is going to be doing this, because it's not necessarily
Supposedly.
SDFC, right? It's right to dream. Like this is a right to dream type of project and type of setup with the charter schools, with everything that they're going to follow the kids throughout what they're going to go ahead and be, whether it's a soccer player, whether it's pursuing an education and career, they're going to follow these kids through that. They're saying it's a 10-year project as of now. So the first crop of first team players essentially that you should be seeing, if any, and which is not the main focus from what they're saying. But if they can get a player for the first team from that, it's going to be a great story. And 100% that's something that we would love to see.
Oh, for sure.
But as of now, like it's not done in that same way. What are the odds that STFC get Pepe? Well, I think they got the closest to Pepe is that SDFC is going to have is actually in the new owner for SDFC. Yeah, sí se parecen. But no, don't think so. And if that right now they're still
Ramos and Pepe at SDFC.
that'd be very cool. Actually, there are a lot of rumors, names surrounding SDFC right now.
Every name that comes up will get some sort of SDFC attachment to it, because they're the new team coming into the MLS, and anything that MLS is always going to be rumored to get any player that's available in the world at the moment. And obviously they're going to link SDFC with any player that gets linked to MLS.
Yeah, and they are going to be looking for a head coach. Like head coach is the priority right now, where that's the direction where they're going in. They got Chucky, they got their guy, they got the target person. Great. But I think head coach is going to be next. There are also other names that we've heard that haven't been made public yet.
CR7 is not really too fond of coming to the US.
Yeah, CR7 has a couple of open cases. You can look those up in your free time. Use the Google machine. What happens when a European team comes and looking for such as Calvin? So, okay, yeah, no, what that's going to end up happening is you're going to have that wonderkind who's going to be really amazing, that 16, 17-year-old that's coming up, local San Diegan kid, killing it in the MLS, and then the European team's going to come in. Yeah, like
it would
the
be
right to dream.
It would be an Alfonso Davis story. Played in the USL, and then now playing in the Champions League final and all this, and Canadian captain now. So it's going to be one of those stories, and it's going to be fantastic because it's going to be San Diego based.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, Right to Dream has said that the priority, like, because who did I ask? Or as far as who the priority is going to be in the Right to Dream model, is it going to be FC Northland? Like, let's say there's one player, right? Like, where are they going to send the best one player to FC Northland? Are they going to send the player from FC Northland, who is the best player overall, to the MLS? Are they going to send him over to Ghana? Are they going to send him over to the King Tut FC in the second division of the Egyptian League? Like, That's the question. Ultimately, if they're going to sell to a bigger European club, their star boy is Kudus, who's killing it in the Premier League, but they still sold him. But they're taking credit for it. But they still sold him, so don't expect there to be long-term players staying if they have the talent to move elsewhere in Europe. They're definitely going to prefer to move into Europe. That's the way pro soccer is big clubs will always be looming to swoop academy talent. Yep. And that's what SDFC is. And if you want to be very pessimistic about it, if you want to see glass half empty about it, yeah,
Pura
please,
cura, toro fuerte,
please
pura
go
cura.
Google it, go Bing it, go dogpile it, go ask Jeeves.
Only because you know toro fuerte.
Go ask Jeeves, bro. Seasons, but as Brandon's saying, that's the reality of soccer. It's the academy.
It's just
selling
the
to a
way,
bigger club.
It's just the food chain of the soccer
Yeah,
world.
and
again, without academies, these big clubs would not exist. These big stars would not exist.
But then, are people going to be demanding? That's where I'm questioning. What are people going to demand? And are the people going to be listened to?
What is there to demand?
A title for San Diego. Period.
A what?
A title, a championship, a parade through downtown San Diego,
yes.
or as the San Diego Wave had planned, if and when they won the NWSL championship through Balboa Park.
That's going to be the expectations for any club.
It's not going to be the expectation for SDFC. It seems
it should be.
It should be, and
be.
they'll have the rhetoric of saying we're going to come out the gate and we're definitely going to. Sorry, that sounds a little bit too much like.
You mean to tell me? You mean to tell me you don't think SDFC has as top priority winning a championship?
They could say that all they want, but until they win, and that's the thing. Until they win a championship,
Tony, they're not gonna win their first year. They're not gonna win their second year. They're not gonna win their third year.
I don't know, man. Chucky
Okay.
Lozano.
Yeah, Carlos Vela was with LAFC and they wanted one to their fifth year.
I don't know.
It's not going to happen.
People keep saying
it's unrealistic.
This
I
is-
don't think
this is
SDFC
different.
wins it in their first year.
Edwin Lozano is in a different point. He's a different player. He's going to be the one that's going to figure it out. He's going to unlock, aka Byron C. Musiala from Chelsea. Absolutely, that's still devastating for me. When they were younger and the academy teams at 16 for 160K. Yeah, like that's football manager. That's the career mode in FIFA. Like that's what you do. You go look for these hidden gems and then you put them in those positions. I think that Chucky signing was the biggest MLS signing in MLS history. And mind you, I am not a Mexican fan.
I would agree, but I mean Messi's
Messi.
So
Yeah.
that just. I mean,
Yeah.
I would even say Jordi Alba and Sergio Busquets is bigger too, but they're gonna get paid more.
I think that was like the Infinity Gauntlet was Messi, and then you got the Time Stone with Busquets, who's just ancient. And
I see them in the chat going bigger than Messi. No Manches, yes, 100% point in their career. I mean, Chucky's almost 30. Like,
so would you?
I mean,
so
would you
okay.
rather? Yeah.
Would you rather take a Messi right now at 38 in San Diego FC than a 28-year-old Chucky Lozano? And I'm not even going to put expectations as far as like winning a title, winning whatever. Like you have.
I'm sorry, Chucky Lozano's not in his
Messi.
prime either. I don't think Chucky's in his prime. So, to answer your question, Tony, I would rather take Messi at 38 than Chucky at 28.
Yeah, I would too.
100%.
I would too.
Like, come on, there's the difference already. Like Messi at 38 is far better than Chucky at 26, at 24, at 25.
I mean,
Honestly,
Inter Miami
dude,
practically
that's the
has
thing.
him on a wheelchair.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's such a dumb debate because Messi is just such a generational talent. Like he's world class, world GOAT period ever. Like him and Ronaldo are extraterrestrial. Like they're aliens. They don't compare to any other living creature here on Earth when it comes to soccer.
Yeah,
like it doesn't compare. And I mean, like that's just what it is.
Let's compare it. Let's compare it to somebody comparable. Lorenzo Insigne and Chucky Lozano.
Right now, Insigne or Chucky?
Like when those moves happen, I think those are closer talent-wise than say a Messi and Chucky Lozano, even at a 29-year-old Chucky Lozano, 28, 29-year-old Chucky Lozano. Like, and look,
I think
and here's the thing. I mean, I personally take Insigne.
Yeah,
actually, when Giovinco came over, like that was
tore
Brian.
it up too.
the point of playing signing a 20 something compared to a retirement tour of a player. This can potentially look.
Careful,
I mean,
Luis, 20s, 29. I mean, sure, it's still 20s, but it's closer to 30 than 20.
I mean, if we're talking about retirement tour, technically speaking, and you spoke with Chucky Lozano directly when you asked him the question, "Hey, Chucky, is this going to be your last club?" He kind of alluded to it
Said
being,
yes.
yeah. So therefore, he's retiring here. Same thing with Messi. He's retiring in Inter Miami. He's already said that. Everybody thought he was going to go back to Argentina and play with Newell Boys, something that he promised that team, and just broke their heart. Said,
Vale
"Nope, I'm
madre,
staying
eso,
here
Simón.
in the U.S. and making all the money." Like things change. Things change. I am very, very much in the camp of like, all right, let's see it. Let's see it. Let's
I'm
see
telling
Chucky
you,
prove us
telling you,
wrong.
I don't think Chucky stays
Because
in SDFC.
guess what? Because guess what? Chucky does well in the MLS. Chucky comes back and is part of a resurgence in his career, tears it up in the MLS, helps the team make a run into the playoffs in the first and second year. That means that Chucky Lozano
Gets
should
called up
shut
to the World Cup.
should shut mouths up in the Mexican Federation and say, "I'm playing in MLS and look at my level. Call me up, motherfucker." And they're gonna get called
but
up.
again, like our friend Caesar said on the podcast, Chucky Lozano needs to have an MVP like worthy season where
Yeah.
he's the clear best player in the league, and
Yep.
that's beating Messi, and that's beating everybody, and
Yeah.
that's being just best player point blank period to be able to get called up again.
Yeah, and I don't see that happening with the information that's out there and the play, the form that Chucky's been in. Doesn't negate the fact that he may do incredibly well.
I have a feeling, Luis. I have a feeling you're a big Madrid fan.
Ibra was bigger signing than Messi.
I don't think so.
Luis,
Come on.
Luis,
I'm sorry, but
Luis.
no.
I would love. Okay, I would love to hear the why.
Ibra
I
was a
would
bigger
love
signing than
to hear the why.
Yeah.
Landon Donovan signing with Wells Fargo
I
was a
love
bigger
Toro Fuerte.
signing.
I love Toro Fuerte.
What do you say? Yeah, Ibra is taller than guy than Messi. Technically bigger. Absolutely. Very technically. That's a good reason. But no, I mean, I this is a good back and forth, Luis, and you know, I'd love to hear anybody else who has thoughts on any of this in general. But just Chucky Lozano is a great person. The best case scenario for STFC to have signed.
I hope he does well. I hope he really does well, and I hope he has that MVP career and gets to go to the World Cup, because then that means we get to follow Chucky around with Mexico covering
Yeah.
San Diego soccer in the World Cup. So,
And a part of this aspect that led Chucky to sign with STFC was his love and really belief in the passion that was shown through the Right to Dream Academy project, something that he was a part of, not a Right to Dream, but just an academy process through Pachuca. And what we just saw the video with the coaches coming out and really getting an extension of resources and a hand in saying like, hey, let's make soccer in San Diego what it truly can be. Its final form. Let us help you. It seems very genuine in that intent. Hopefully it stays that way. It's very interesting that they had a representative of San Diego Surf Femenil also speak on that, because the Right to Dream will also not just have boys go into this academy. They're going to have girls. There is no SDFC Femenil. There is no SDFC female team. In that regards, I know the San Diego Wave and SDFC are not seeing eye to eye on that. They do have a partnership with Cholos, SDFC does. So if that means that they're going to funnel those talented players, the female players, over into Cholos Femenil, then that's an avenue, but it's a missed opportunity to really collaborate with somebody who's literally your sibling in Snapdragon Stadium.
but with everything that's going on with Wave,
Yeah.
don't blame SDFC. They kind of
For now.
stay away a little bit right now.
I mean, yeah, they need to do themselves a little bit of favors. Anyway, San Diego FC has also announced that they're going to be hosting continuous professional development workshops to connect members of the San Diego coaching community. This is per SDFC. There will be upcoming events, community connect events, Thursday, July 18th. If you are a club leader or coach and interested in this event and future continuous professional development, CPDs, please sign up and get more information through the club. And so, look, I mean, this isn't just shilling information and being a mouthpiece for the team, even though it kind of is. But if that's what we're being told, and then I support that. I support the growth of soccer and individuals in San Diego. That it's going to take the game into a different stratosphere. Okay, in all seriousness, was the Messi signing bigger than Beckham? Without the Beckham signing, he does not bring Messi over.
Beckham was a stepping stone for MLS to start bringing that talent on that retirement league. Messi just kind of brings in a bigger stepping stone to bring other players in the future. So yes, you're right. Without the Beckham signing, none of these players like Thierry Henry and all these players would come to MLS. But again, that's back in the bad. Like this is just as big, if not bigger, than David Beckham.
Yeah, I agree. Ibra's debut, I mean, that was a good game
That was
he
a good
had,
game.
but Ibra was doing that in Europe. Like,
Yeah.
like and he literally got bored of this league and said, bye, toodles.
The
and
best
just
comparison
left.
was just with Carlos Vela. He said, okay, well, he's in his prime right now.
Mira vato.
How old is he?
Mira vato.
Where was I at that age?
There's the girl on Instagram that has a page that has a little song that like gives you like, oh, who was the best goalkeeper? Was it Neuer? Was it Buffon? And then she'll give you like, oh no, like, and she'll give you like, it was Jonathan Pickford in the Euros in 2021, and then like the little song "Formidable" plays, and she's like drinking the mate. Like this is exactly what this is. Like Cuauhtémoc Blanco. Like, hey, who was the biggest signing at MLS? Was it Messi or was it Ibrahimovic? And then
with Chicago Fire, bro.
and then I'd be like, yeah, oh, pues Cuauhtémoc Blanco con Chicago Fire when they came in, and then it plays the highlights of him scoring those bangers.
El
Formidable.
Bofo Bautista que tuvo que jugar con las Chivas USA un partido. creo.
Absolutely. Bofo Bautista. Yeah. Teammate of the great friend of the podcast, Jimmy Conrad. But yeah, so SDFC, just working it. There's not a lot of
Keep doing community work as the FC. That's really what you can do right now to keep engaging the community. On the back end, we're about to have a coach lined up, so everyone kind of gets an idea, and these rumors kind of stop going around, I guess. But it's all part of it.
Perfect. All right. So with that, you guys can continue the conversation. We're going to go ahead and continue the conversation online. Santiago.futbol on all of our social medias. Didn't Beckham start the European teams touring out here? I remember they played Barca and the Rose Bowl and filled it. Well, guess what? Chivas also played against that Barcelona, and we have that game just burned in our memories because Marquito Fabian was literally the savior of Mexico. For
And
like
Chivas also played against Barcelona back in 2006, the year they were champions. I know this because I was at that game live, not at the Rose Bowl, at the Coliseum, which holds almost 100,000, 90 something thousand. So
All right.
Rafa Marquez scored against Chivas in a
Damn.
1-1 tie.
Pinche rojinegro, la verga.
Ronaldinho came in the second half. He showed up at halftime. I remember all the flash photography as soon as Ronaldinho touched the ball. And yeah, so, I mean,
boom.
Sorry. We love Beckham, but Man U legend. I love Beckham, but
Absolutely. All right. So with that, let's continue the conversation online. That has been SDFC Talk. I'm not going to play a little AI video that I made, but we'll just close it out. I think it's been a charged episode. It's been a lot. Goals, gaffes, and greats. Yeah, because I actually do work for the podcast,
Nice.
Jiva.
Awesome.
David Beckham is coming to the event. Our inside source to the event of Street Soccer USA. Is David Beckham coming to it? No. Okay, tranquilo, Edwin. Jorge Campos was not the second biggest signing in the MLS. All right, like I had you. You had me for a second. You had me for a second, Edwin, and I was about to say, you know what? Cuauhtémoc Blanco really kind of revolutionized the Midwest with his style of play. La Joroba, people had never seen anything like it. But man, Jorge Campos. I mean, it's hard for me to say that. All right, goals, gaffes, and greats. It's a pretty simple, straightforward. Goal and great of this are the same person, and that's going to be former guest of SDFCF, former guest of
podcast.
Of the podcast. Hold on, I just saw.
Cristina
¿Cómo se llama esta? Hold on. Yes. So the current reigning defending, one of the best guests for Two Balls and a Mic has been Christina Birkenroad, as you're saying. She's going to have the goal and is the great of the week with her scoring in the 1-0 effort for Rayadas of Monterrey. Local product, Christina Birkenroad, doing absolute bits in Mexico, Liga MX Femenil. And with this goal, ended up being the deciding factor in Christina Breckenridge.
Also very loud.
It's also incredibly loud.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure it out because the camera moved. Here it is. She's celebrating with her team. Let's look at her celebrate with the team because the camera couldn't pick it up. Look, man, we can't all have the great sports photographers and broadcasters that we have here locally in San Diego. But yeah, there she is. She's celebrating with her team. That's number 2. Christina. That's number 7. Christina Birkenroad saying hi to all the teammates for after scoring. Come on, Rayadas. We gotta do better here. We gotta do better. Like, okay, assist. Christina's right there.
Boom, cerró. Gol.
I'm just gonna tell you, Christina scored. Celebrates with her teammates. She is the great of the week.
That
And
was
with that goal.
the goal on a 1-0 win against Puebla to kick off the season for Rayadas. So what about the gaff?
Yeah, and then shout out to Evan Conway, former San Diego Loyal person
chat?
who did score a brace. Friend on Facebook for me, Evan Conway. I don't know why I said that, but this is stupid. It's so stupid. It's a fact. We deal with facts here. Evan Conway scoring his brace. He did have a great performance. We're actually going to do a catch-up episode or just like a segment where it's going to be really in depth.
Where are
It's
they
just
now?
Where are they now for San Diego Loyal? That includes NC, North Carolina, in the USL with a couple of players, as already mentioned. I will have available and actually communicated with Orange County. If you want to go see Duran Ferri and Coque Vegas, master and pupil of San Diego Loyal, the goalkeeping duo in the last year of existence of San Diego Loyal, here in Orange County, I'll have discounted tickets and a link to that. So be on the lookout for that. Las Vegas has Charlie Adams, Capitan Charlie. If you really want to see guests of the podcast, then just wait for Charleston Battery to bring in Andrew Carlton's ass to South to SoCal. But I will not have discounted tickets for that. I will actually have more expensive tickets for you. Just what are you doing here? But yeah,
you had your great.
That was the great is Christina Birkenroad.
The gaff.
The gaff is Copa America. I'm just gonna talk just Copa America. Like that game between Uruguay and Brazil just made me sad.
Mhm.
It was the saddest game that I've seen Brazil. I texted EVP for SDFC, Ricardo Campos, and I just said, like, regardless of what this result ends up being, this Brazil team just makes me sad. And obviously being eliminated.
Ronaldinho was right.
Ronaldinho was right. I saw he turn on his light. Is there something you wanted to jump in on? I mean, he says no. Okay, he doesn't want the. Oh, you turned it back. All right.
I turned it off, but I turned it off. But yeah, Ronaldinho was right. That poor Brazil, man. Like Brazil used to be the thing you show people when you're showing people soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Like my girlfriend was getting really into juggling a soccer ball for some reason. Like, and we were like, I was just showing her just Brazil videos, just like compilations and stuff. And she was just sending me like old freaking TikToks and compilations and stuff and watching.
I will tell you this though. I will tell you this about Brazil, this Copa America. What I've been seeing from Endrick,
the 17-year-old,
17-year-old, future Real Madrid player, like ese vato es otro pedo.
I mean, he only
He's
had
good.
but he had one successful pass, and that was
I
the
know.
opening kickoff.
Have you seen other games? Or
Yeah, no,
other,
100%. Yeah.
Like I think the way people talk about him, I hope he's not too hyped up, but boy, this kid can definitely be special. I think everyone really had high hopes for this Brazil national team. Just kind of big disappointment.
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%. Like the 7-1 was way worse. Just emotionally, I was traumatized, legitimately traumatized by that 7-1.
That 7-1 honestly was just kind of like more of a demoralizing team mentality because Neymar got injured and Neymar was destroying in that World Cup.
He was destroying, got hurt against Colombia,
literally almost ended his career.
Thiago Silva wasn't part of that scene. He was out. It was David Luiz who just couldn't handle it. Like, I love me some David Luiz, but man,
that Brazil
was just
team
not.
was good and solid. It's just I think mentally it kind of messed with them that Neymar got
Mano.
injured and then Thiago Silva wasn't there with the leadership. So
Yeah, no, it's a different
they would have
era
lost like 5-2.
for Brazil. Kudos to Bielsa and his halt. David Frecker, Bastian Schweinsteiger. Where I pulled that name out of your ass, and I love that. I love you for that. Biggest signing is Bastian Schweinsteiger in the MLS.
Man
Just
United
hands
legend,
down.
Bastian Schweinsteiger.
Bastian
Absolutely.
Schweinsteiger.
Will be at Escondido, got it.
Chelsea legend Bastian Schweinsteiger.
Oh, sí,
You know
Chelsea
why?
legend.
No, he's a Chelsea legend.
Sí, pues ya sé, pues.
Because he missed a penalty
Sí, ya sé.
in the 2012 Champions League final that Drogba then ended up, capitalizing on and giving the Le Blues the first Champions League title, one of two that we've actually won in the time span that Man U have won. How many? I will bring that
It's
up.
okay. We got Van Nistelrooy as a coaching staff now.
I will bring that up when I don't know, Robin van Persie comes over to Escondido. I'm just gonna throw names out there. I do know who potentially it is, and so like I'm just gonna throw names out there of people who it probably won't it be. So I'll tell you right now, Bebe will not be coming for Manchester United.
Danny Welbeck? No.
Danny
Chicharito?
Welbeck?
Tampoco.
Chicharito? No. That's no.
You know who might go?
Oh, Adnan Januzaj. Yep.
Wayne Rooney's a possibility.
Wayne Rooney, he freaking states. Colombia plays more like old Brazil. Yeah, no, they're fun to watch. They're definitely fun to watch. We're gonna have friend of the pod. He's actually doing and has been doing Fox Deportes, Fox Sports coverage on his own end. Jaime, we actually did the commentary with San Diego Soccers with him once. To talk about some Euros and Copa America and just their experience in covering that. But yeah, no, I mean, I was showing just not the Allstate commercial because that's actually a top tier commercial. Mayhem, just avoid mayhem, please. But no, like that Brazil, that was just having fun in the locker room. Like, yeah, some of these videos are edited, but is this what your girlfriend was aspiring to, Abe?
Yes. Like, I wasn't showing these specific things, but like this is what you dream of.
Yeah,
what
no,
you
because
imagine when
as
you're
a because as a boyfriend, you show. I would never show my girl this. Like, I would not have a girlfriend. Be like, I need to get me one of them bald Brazilians.
No, I'm very self-conscious about my juggling ability. She was like better than me and like never touched a soccer ball before, and it pissed me off to no end because like I'm more of a defender. I'm not that skilled on the ball, but just for her to just pick up the ball and just start like juggling it like nothing, it pissed me off. But once I got over it, I was able to show her some of these videos. What do you guys think about the Euros? Euros tomorrow. We got France, Spain. Have you guys been watching that?
Yeah, no, I mean I've been watching a lot of soccer. Unfortunately, I've become the meme where it's my girlfriend and it's like the only way that I can get my boyfriend's attention, and she puts a phone on her forehead while she's eating, and it's a Euro game. I'm glad that there hasn't been any severe injuries a la Ericsson, which is crazy that I was over 3 years ago.
Yeah,
I remember the moment that happened. Were you watching that game where Ericsson just had that little?
I had just had a soccer game
Where Ant-Man went into Ericsson's heart, like in.
I remember that. I don't know if I was watching the game though. Soccer games kind of meld for me nowadays, which kind of sucks. Like we've watched so much.
Day, man.
You remember? Tell us about it, Shiva.
Yeah, no, I was at a soccer game. We just ended. We're like, oh, let's all go eat, like watch the game, and then we're trying to find a place, and we're like, oh shit, like the game's not showing. Oh shit, guys, this just went down. This just happened. Yeah, it was some crazy day.
I mean, good question here. Do you think that was a penalty on Spain? I think we're talking about the handball for Cucurella. I can give you two answers. One answer being, did the referee call it a penalty? Then it's not a penalty because it wasn't. Should it have been a penalty? No, because that's the position of the hand, and that's hands. Oh my God, I'm sounding like Alan Underwood. Hands have to go somewhere, and I think that there's no intent. There wasn't an intent to use that hand in a way to block it. Can that penalty have been given?
Like
yes.
the wave commentary said, defend properly.
Actually, that was probably
That
some of the
happened in
best.
the Wave game, right? Naomi Gurma hit Naomi Gurma in the
It
arm.
hit her
during-
hand. Yeah, she said no. Well, I mean, they're not going to defend with their hands behind their back. Just defend properly, and you avoid like the ball hitting your head. I mean, I think it's easier said than done, but
I think Brandon's on a slight delay. He's still on the 2012 Bayern Munich.
Yeah, I think so.
Bastian Schweinsteiger, bro, calling out Bayern fans like that. There are many of us. Yes, correct. There are dozens of you. Which is a-okay. Don't worry, you guys got it. The
you guys have
next
Spain or France going through?
Spain.
I have
Honestly,
Spain.
I wanted Germany to beat Spain just because I didn't want Tony
Spain is-
Cruz's story, Mueller's story.
The only thing about Spain is Carvajal, who won't be in the team. To a
Ah,
red
what,
card.
what a what
And
a
I think
what
they're
a red
missing
card he
some
got.
other players. Yeah, no, for sure. But I mean, I feel like that might take a big toll on the Spanish defense.
But that if that offense is firing and Iñaki
Jamal is
Williams,
crazy, dude.
Yamal is absolutely
Jamal is
insane.
freaking crazy.
As physical as people are going to want to be, like there's only so much you can do against a player of that caliber, and he's doing really
You know,
well.
I think if you were to compare Hendrik and Jamal where they're at right now, I think Jamal is just far way more ahead. Like,
Imagine France winning it all with 0 goals on the field. Very possible. And this France run is actually reminding me of, and in a way England too, but more France too, of how unsatisfying it was when Portugal won the Euros because they did not deserve to win the Euros, but they just played a good tournament. And that's what it is. It's a tournament play. It's a different style. You have to play and be smart about it. Talking about Copa America, that's exactly why Uruguay moved on to the next phase. Is yeah, they had a red card, but they survived. They got the penalties and they had played the dark cards, and that's why they're still in the U.S. and Brazil is on the way back into vacation holiday mode. But yeah, that'd be very interesting. Why wasn't Mexico invited to the Euros? Honestly, because they would have embarrassed the country yet again with the amount of people that populate Mexico. What's
don't
Mexico's
worry,
population?
SPFC is going to win the World Cup.
Mexico.
You remember when a reporter asked
population.
Bastian Schweinsteiger that?
Yes.
I was like, hey, is Chicago has an expectation to make the World Cup or win the World Cup?
Mexico's population is 127.5 million people, according to a census in 2022. So you're telling me in 2022, the best 22 motherfuckers to represent Mexico were the ones that we took? I'm hard pressed to see that. Half of those, again, same thing for La Femenil. Like they're getting better. So it's a give and take. Nah, Mexico was absolutely trash. And the Euros. Yeah, no. I think the Euros would be more accepting of the chant. They just wouldn't care. Not even accepting. They just wouldn't care.
Germans? Oh.
I mean, yeah, just Europeans in general. As a German who has been hazed by Brazilian fans as a child, I am so happy. Yes, that I know a couple Germans who just became men and became women, fully developed men and women after that 7-1. Like that was the moment for them. But yeah, this is a good little talk here at the end. Some Euro talk.
I got France and England in the final.
Oh,
France and England have a lot of history together.
I'm gonna go with France again, just because Spain's gonna miss a couple important pieces. I'm gonna go France and Netherlands. England, no me prenden. It has not been good.
They've just
Southgate
been finding a way though. Like I've thought
Yeah,
that
that's
since the
what it
beginning.
is.
Like I didn't
Netherlands
think
is
they were gonna
very
get in the group.
young and powerful, and they have a lot of talent. So I'm gonna go with Netherlands. I like the way they've been playing. Netherlands give me kind of Colombia vibes in the Copa America for the Euros.
Yeah, like a resurgence and finding themselves, finding the talent. To answer your question, Edwin, population of Uruguay, 3.423 million. So 3.5 million. So the Dutch, and it was a penalty. I mean, I think we're getting to it. It wasn't. It's fine. You want to know a penalty that should have been 2014 Brazil World Cup. There you go. See it up and out. They want you to Google that information now. Yeah, no, we're here to serve. Toro Fuerte. I can Google. I have the capacity to do that. All right. So somehow, Copa America, that performance, the tournament in general, VAR, it's just so wonky. My girl asked me like, so what's the difference? Like, what's the like legit? What's the difference between like the Euros and this, other than one's in the morning and one's in the afternoon?
Yeah.
And I'm like, the level of play, just the level of silky smoothness. There was a little image that said like it showed the triangulations and ball movement of the Euros, and then the next frame is like this Copa America is just like two guys scrapping it and just having fights. It's a reality of things, but either way, it is entertaining. I do have France moving on. England, I don't know. Yeah.
That's not how you spell Robin, but okay.
Bellingham.
I love you, Luis. Thank you for joining the show today.
Who the fuck are you to criticize somebody's spoken, typed spelling of use of the English language, Chiwa?
Robin is
What's the name of the interim head coach for San Diego Wave?
Paul
what?
Buckle.
Maybe you've been practicing. Good job. I'm glad Inglés Sin Barreras is finally I understood that one. Finally working out for you. Because it's definitely been Inglés con Barreras for you. That was good. That was good. Back touch with me. All right, gentlemen, it's been a long one. Yes, 4 million people with 4 world championships. Technically not 4 according to FIFA, but you know, that's controversial on its own. I think it's a good place to go ahead and pause for the week, pause for the day. It's been a good 2.5 hour episode. Season's greetings to everybody who's been joining us. It's been a loaded episode. It's been an exhausting episode, but we do it for you, the soccer community in San Diego. You can find Abe. Abe, where can they find you?
Abe_Zepeda and articles on San Diego.football.
San Diego.football is absolutely where you can find Abe's all of Abe's work, including the latest one, which again goes into a deep dive as far as the woes of San Diego Wave as they extend their winless streak to 9. So check that out, San Diego.football/stories. You're gonna find all that good stuff and work signed, and find everything related to us, San Diego.football, Instagram, YouTube, all the good things. Everybody here, thank you for joining us. Luis, te queremos. Edwin, te queremos, pero América, vato. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it's just, I can't.
¿Quién pierde contra San Luis?
Contra San Luis, güey.
¿Qué
pedo, güey?
¿Quién pierde contra
Vato,
San Luis?
¿quién pierde contra los Cholos, güey?
Campeón mis huevos,
Los
vale
Cholos.
madre,
Torneos
robados.
Shout out to Joe Corona for being a new dad. That's the
bench warmer in the Cholos game.
But you know what? He's a starting dad. Starting lineup in the dad. Season's greetings.
Number 2 on the field, number 1 in your heart.
Bye, guys.
Good night.